I got out, giving all glory to God. Hold up, this ain't me. Tell me how we went from trapping to rapping on BET. Last week I told investing to the Kansas City Chiefs. Golden rule to invest and make that money while you sleep. They say Trapper perfect mixture of Warren Buffett and Meach. No more shoebox money, them portfolios elite. Golden rule to invest and make that money while you sleep. I'm gone.
What's good, what's good, what's good, family? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Welcome to another episode of Trappin' Tuesdays, man. Let's go, man. All right, man, so, we start every show off by letting you all know, man, without you all, there is no 141 episodes. Each and every weekend we come, each and every Tuesday we come, we do this to help you navigate the game, to help you understand the game, but most importantly, to help you turn your last name into an asset. So from myself and my team who makes this all happen, again, we want to tell you thank you. All right, man, so we got an interesting show. We got a lot to talk about today. I want to start off today by saying that access has been granted. That's what I want to start off the show by saying. Access has been granted. Up until this era, man, it was so hard to get into the market. There was a time where you really had to get a machine and the ticker tape came through the machine and you had to write your orders down and do stuff during newspapers. But now we have cell phones. Now we have laptops. Now we have computers. Now I want you to understand when I say this, access has been granted. For a long time, we could say that we didn't have access to the game. For a long time, we can say, we didn't have the money to get the newspapers to know how to buy stocks. For a long time, we could say, we don't even know how to read. For a long time, we could say, we don't even know how to count. For a long time, we can really even say, I don't even know what a stock is. But today, as I stand before you, I want you to understand that access has been granted. But another harsh truth is the market doesn't give you what you want. It only gives you what you work for. I know there's some people that just tuned in tonight. You just tuned in. You just turned the channel on, right? You're like, I hope Trap didn't get into the, matter of fact, who is Wall Street Trapper? I don't know. I want to introduce you to this statement. I want you to hold it dear for those who are confused, for those who are treating this like a gamble. I want you to know you don't be a gambler here. You be a generator. That's right. You're not a gambler when you get into these markets. If you do, it will punish you. You must be a generator of dividends, a generator of wealth, right? I want you to understand that. The market will not give you what you want, only what you work for. See, a lot of us come to the market with this vision. I'm gonna make a whole lot of money. And while that is true, the market doesn't just give you that, you must work for it. You must endure, you must persevere. You must know how to ride the highs and the lows. You must understand the market from various different angles because that is the only way that you get an advantage. Just because you want it doesn't mean the market will give it to you. As a matter of fact, because you want it, you will step into the market under this false pretense and the market will annihilate you. Yes. Yes. I am a generator, not a gambler. Generator. We think about what a generator is, right? It's the source of everything needed in a certain environment, right? It's the source. The market doesn't give us what we want. It gives us what we work for. And for some strange reason, we all think that freedom is just handed to us. For some odd reason, we don't look back on the history books and realize that everything, everyone, every group of people, every person, every nation that finally attained freedom had to bleed for it. Because no one truly likes to relinquish power. Freedom is a form of power. Me and my cousin, we love this saying. Boss, who that nigga is on that name? We always say that to each other when we see somebody fly or we see somebody fresh, or we like, yeah. But for me and him, we understand, because when we watched Django, we understood that he had a sense of freedom, and they wanted to know in that moment, how is it that he attained that freedom? How did he get it? How did he get on that horse? Why is he wearing those clothes? Why is he doing the thing that he's doing and he looked like us? How did he obtain freedom? And everybody who looked at him wanted it. But very few are willing to do the thing to attain it. Now I'm going to talk to you right now. Are you willing to endure? So like when you see this moment and the whole world is saying, hey, the sky is falling, and the whole world is just panicking, and are you the person that can say, hey, listen, I'm gonna drown out the noise and I'm gonna focus on an opportunity, because after really big drawbacks come really big gains. After really big drawbacks come really big gains. But it's the drawbacks. It's the drawbacks that hurt us the most. Because for some reason, we never forget what that felt like. And instead of using this pain as power, we use the pain as prison. Instead of using the pain as power, instead of saying, oh, I went through that, I felt it, this is a part of the game. This now makes me better, because now I felt something that I never felt before. Now I felt something that encourages me to go. And when I look back, I see everybody that went through this and everybody that felt this, they always came out on the other side better. No. What most people do is we allow the pain then to become the prison to say, yo, I'm not playing that game. Yo, I ain't messing with them stocks no more. I'm still scarred. Trap, I got the trauma from the Liberation Day. Trap, I got the trauma from what I lost. Trap, I don't even know how Trap do it. Hey, listen, because I understand. The game gonna reward me. But the game don't give me back my bread. The game don't give me back that, because here's the thing, I took from the game. I took from the game. I played the game year after year after year, and I took from the game. And at some point, the game gonna say, hey, let me get that. And I gotta be willing to keep score and say, hey, it's my turn again. And you gotta just keep learning. You gotta keep evolving. Remember, the game don't give you what you want. The game gonna only give you what you work for. Now let me go deeper with that. Because just like you working, the game working. Just like the game gonna allow you a season to get it back from it, there's also gonna be a season where the game say, my turn. My question to you is, will you endure? That's what I do. I look back and I say, oh, Bill Ackman lost $400 million. What Buffett lost this before. This person lost that before. Dang. But they still in the game. Never once did they think about not playing the game. Never once did they think about, let me step away from the game. So why are you? Why are you? Man, Trap, I can't afford to. Man, Trapper, I ain't got. I was talking to my therapist the other day. Yesterday. And I told my therapist, I said, it's hard for me to look for help in certain situations because, watch this, yo. Watch this. Because I'd rather look for the solution. A lot of times, we go reach out for the help before even looking for the solution. And what happens is, now you look for a crutch instead of learning how to walk on your own. And I said, I remember when Kobe had that injury. Before he looked to anybody to help him up, he got up, he followed through, and then he allowed the help to walk him off the court. I said, that's a different kind of mindset. That's how I am in life. I say in life, if we get too comfortable with making excuses, we never find the willpower to find solutions. I'm a solutionist, not an excusionist. I'm a solutionist. It can go bad, it can go left, it can go right, but there's something in me that says I'ma figure it out. And after I've exhausted all possibilities, then I tap into my network, not before. I tap in. What do I need to learn? How do I get better? What did I do wrong? Where's the mistakes? Where's the mistakes? Where's the path out? Where's the tools I need? What's around me that can make me better? Because I know at some point I've positioned myself to be better. And if something don't go my way, it don't mean I gotta give up. It mean I gotta figure it out. Where's the solution, not the excuse? And the problem is we've gotten too comfortable looking for excuses. Excuses. And the dope part about excuses, they all have a little bit of legitimacy to them. And if you tell it to the right person, they'll actually understand. But if you tell it to the wrong person, they'll look at you like, you couldn't figure that out? That's what this game is. This game says, can you figure it out? And after you exhausted all possibilities, then you get into that environment where helping is obligatory. When you get in an environment where helping other people is not just, it's not painful. It's a duty. But that's two-sided, because now some of us get in the area where I don't want to ask for help. So I ask you, did the pain become your power, or did it become your prison? There's a gray area. There's a gray area. Solutionists. Most of us won't get better because we won't read a book. Trap, give me 10 good books to read. I say, I tell you what, I'll do something better for you. I give you 2 books and I challenge you to read 2 books 10 times. Why? Because if you memorize 2 books 10 times, you've learned so much. If you read 1 book 1 time, you go to another book 1 time, you go to another book 1 time, all you've done was read the book, you ain't internalized the book. But if you read 2 books 10 times, you've internalized the book, and then you filter what is right and what is wrong. You won't read 2 books 1 time. You get halfway through the book, it becomes a coffee stand now. It becomes a prop in your pictures. It becomes a part of your background. It becomes a part of your setting. It looks good on a coffee holder. So why would I give you 10 books? Trap, what podcast you listen to? I don't know. Get on any one of them. I guarantee you're not going to listen to it for the whole hour. In 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to find a reason to start scrolling on Instagram. The game don't give you what you want. It give you what you work for. Your problem is you ain't willing to work for it. You want it given to you. You want it given to you. I get up in the morning, I work out. Soon as I pray, I work out. Guess what I'm on? CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox News, reading a book, coming in here, I'm working. Everything that is necessary for me to be successful, I'm working it. Day in, day out, no breaks. Trap, you wanna come here? Bro, I can't come. Trap, you wanna do that? I cannot come. Why? Because the game only give me what I work for, not what I want. Not what I want. And I refuse when my day come and it's time for me to go, I can look back and say, I gave it everything I had. I never want to die with regret. I never want to die with the cup half full. I want to know I laid it all on the line. I want to know I read everything I could read. I want to know I maxed myself out. I'm not going to lie to you, yo. Sometimes it be stressful. But listen, you know what bring me back to reality? I say, it's worth it. My production guy told me something the other day, Jose. Benton told me something that was real dope. And I've been holding on to this all week since he told it to me. He said, Trap, I see you, bruh. And I admire how you navigating this. I can only imagine what's going through your head. I see the market. You got me watching the market more. I see you on Instagram. I see you building this building out. I see you building the production out. I see you got, other stuff going on. He said, bro, I admire you because I only can imagine what it's like to birth that baby. He said, I wouldn't know. I got my own beats. He said, I can't imagine what it's like to birth that baby. But I want you to know something, Trap, and this is the part that hit me hard. He said, listen, in pregnancy, the crown is the hardest part. He said, if you get past the crown, you got it. And I'm getting chills right now because when he told me that, I said, oh, this is the crown. It's the crown. Once I get past the crown, we good. I say, bruh, thank you for that. I'm gonna ask you a question. How many people right now, you in crowning phase? You in that crowning phase. Now, here's the dope part about the crowning phase, y'all. First, you gotta identify that's where you at. Second of all, you can't push it back. You can't push it back. That's the phase we in. We can't push it back. You gotta deliver. You gotta deliver. No matter how long it takes. 10 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours. You gotta deliver. You gotta push. You gotta go through it. Hold somebody's hand. Curse somebody out, but push through, goddammit. Because the game only gives you what you work for. You wanted a baby, but you gotta deliver it. You wanted the baby. You wanted the freedom. You wanted the life. You wanted to travel. Not even the money. You wanted to travel. You wanted to spend more time with your kids. You wanted to spend more time with your wife. You wanted to travel the world. You wanted to see things you ain't never saw before. You wanted to get up a little later. But guess what? You got to deliver the damn baby. You got to deliver. You got to deliver. Nobody else can't deliver it for you. You know why? Because they got their own baby. They got their own baby. Here's what I know for sure. They probably crowning just like you. They crowning just like you. And I don't know Nobody who won't deliver somebody else's baby. So the game gonna give you not what you want. Nah, it don't give us that. That's the free part. That's the part that gives you our energy. That's the part that inspires you. It's the delivery. It's the delivery. It's the process, the push through, the pain, the perseverance that makes you worthy. Now watch this. Watch this. After you birth it, now you gotta nurture it. And that's a whole nother skill set. That's a whole nother skill set. That's a whole nother stage. So once you give birth to wealth, now you gotta nurture wealth. So now that means you gotta read more books, because once you get the money, now you gotta know how to keep the money. You gotta know about taxes, and you gotta know about shelters, and you gotta know about holding companies, and you gotta know about depreciation assets now, because they help you gotta learn how to buy businesses that don't make money so they can write off all the money you making on this side. So not only did you give birth to the baby, now you gotta nurture the baby. So it's an ongoing process, and God forbid you have another dream because you got to go through it again. So you got to ask yourself, before you say you want the freedom, are you ready to be crowned? Are you ready to be crowned? Are you ready to go through that phase? Are you ready to endure that pain? So before we start this episode tonight, I want you to ask yourself that question. If the game don't give me what I want, it only give me what I work for, I want you to ask yourself, am I willing to work for this baby? It's your boy, the Wallstreet Trapper, episode 141. Let's get to it, man. Jose, let's go. Let's go, bro. How we feeling, dog? Man, we got a good episode today, dog.
Yo,
what's up?
Heavy is the crown. Look, I thought you was going that way, too. You know, I was like, my dog about to go that way, too. I said, oh, he about to cook. It's going to be a 45-minute joint.
I was trying to stay in time.
Hey, look, it was only 25
it's
minutes.
Good. Sometimes I realize you don't got to go.
Yeah, keep it sweet. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's how we don't have not finishing all the goddamn clips.
Right.
Left over with 10 dang on.
Hey.
Shout out to our people, man.
No, wait, before you do that, man. They ready for the shout-outs, but
we gotta give our people the shout-outs, man.
I'm getting text messages, DMs, and chat about the haircut.
Man, you had no. Get out of here, man.
Got the freshest shape up on the East Coast right now.
Come on.
Yeah, he masterful with that blade.
Shout out to my dog Hawk.
And I ain't mad at him, because the reason why I ain't mad, because at first you was gonna wear that gray.
I had the beanie ready. I had the beanie ready.
I was like, oh, he about to mess up my whole show with the beanie on. But hey, well, I'm liking that. Hey, look what I say. As soon as I saw, I was like, hey.
Hey, get out of here, man. And look, no black paint.
Yeah.
No black paint.
Yeah. No enhancements.
No, none.
No enhancements.
None.
You know what I'm saying?
None.
Got that thing.
Fire. No enhancement.
Just the crisp.
I ain't got nothing against nobody, but no enhancement. Razor.
Yeah, he fire.
That's it.
He fire, yo. Yeah, he fire.
All right, now. All right, y'all. All right, man, let's shout out our people out, Jose. Tariq was good, man. Shockwave was good. Will Mack was good. January's Finest was good. Dollar Roo was good, man. Jermaine Cobbs was good, man. Zoe, what's up, man? Anthony Santos was good, man. Tori Walker was good. Tyson was good. Zoe was good. Cheesy Bread, I see you, family. Roxanne was good. Jermaine was good. Calvin was good, man. KJ was good. Rams was good, man. Kiara was good. Where you been at? Nat here, yo. Professor was good. Larry Morgan, I was looking for you, brother. Talisha was good, love. Shazam X, I see you, partner. Carolina Blue, I see you. Coach Dad was good. Davion, Dallas in the building. Patron in the building. Was good. Damien was good. Shit. Self-Made was good. I see you. T-Hawk was good. Shaquilla, what's good? Troy, I see you, family. The New American Dream, what's good, family? I appreciate you. You hear me? Trey Patterson, what's good? Paul Bricks, I see you, family. Franklin, what's good? Mr. Walker B, what's good? Horace Moore, what's good? Come on, we hollering at our people, man. Nobody don't holler at their people all like that. Roxanne, what's good? Dedicated, I remember that name every week. SB, what's good? I see my people in the building, man. Let's go, man. Z, what's good? Come on, man. Stop playing. Stop playing. I'm trying to catch another one.
That's what I said. They flooded in.
They flooded. They too fast. They got in too fast. All right, man. How we feeling?
Man, we feeling good, bro. I'm down on poundage. I don't know what the pounds are, because...
You just feel it.
Hey, all day. I'm light. I jumped up on the stage.
I saw.
You know what I'm saying? Feeling good.
My girl told me I look light.
She said what? Your girl said you look light?
She said, you look light, man. I said, okay.
Put that cheeseburger smile. Just
okay.
Start walking in slow motion coming out the bathroom for no reason.
And then George gonna see me talking about, man, you look skinny. That nigga's a hater.
Let me go order you a burger.
That dude is a hater, bro. Shout out to Big what? Big Shaq. That's what it said. For the $100 super chat. Thank you, fam. Yeah, man. George a hater. Nettie, what's good, love? AB, what's poppin', fam? AB, shout out to AB, man. AB, Nettie, they my Patreon people, man. You know, they be locked in. Shout out to Mara Buchanan, what's good? Mr. Walt, Mr. VIP, I see. Shout out to Chelsea. Shout out to, that's Trappers Anonymous, Queen. Where Tori been at? I ain't been seeing it. Nate the Great was good. Shout out to Chelsea. Shout out to
Chelsea.
Jabari.
Tori good. She hit me today.
Shout out to our Trappers Anonymous people too, man. We love that. Listen, we ain't nothing without y'all, man.
Before we get started though,
yep.
I want to shout out as far as the trappers, the listeners, you know what I'm saying? Get ready for the button.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
Hey, we hit the 3 million
We hit 3
downloads. We hit the 3 million downloads, you know what I'm saying? So thank you to each and every one of y'all, man. Go ahead, hit that Apple, Spotify, Google Play, however you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we
That's a big,
that.
see, I'm gonna tell y'all something. So that was big for Jose. He been dying to get the 3 million. Me, I'd be like, all right, bro, I guess. But we all got different metrics.
Wait, what you say? All right, I guess.
You know, that's your thing.
You know.
I'm not saying it's bad.
It's
I'm saying
what we do.
What happens is we have two different sets of metrics.
Oh, I got
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying we got different metrics. So for you, the 3,000 was a goal. For me, I'm like, all right, that's my dog goal. Push the 3 million. I mean, the 3 million was a goal. You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't,
I'm about to say, I got 5 metrics we looking at on this joint, but yeah, that's just
But the thing about it is every department is supposed to have metrics that they live off. So shout out to 3 million downloads. What's your next goal? 5 million?
Yeah, we got 5 on that joint. We got 200 subscribers on this channel. And then on the personal joint, we're trying to
so
get to
200
that
subscribers on this channel is your thing?
200,000 is the next one.
200,000.
Yeah, and then we got 500,000 on the personal joint.
Oh, that personal page running.
Everybody got to get on there. Go check
Make
out
sure you
the
follow the
exclusive
personal
content.
page, Wallstreet Trapper.
Yep.
Make sure you follow this page, share it out. Wallstreet looks like us. Now, we got to get another show. That's what's going to help us. Once we get another show, like on this page, it's going to start. And I'm going to tell you what we got to start doing. We got to start getting guests. It's time.
Yeah.
Once we get...
Yeah, I'm about to say, we
start bringing some guests in, come in.
Bet.
And you know what? Everybody can't handle live.
Oh, no, not many, bro.
Yeah, they can't handle live. They be like, hey, I can't see. No, come on.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah. Live guests.
Like,
run it up.
For real.
Run it up.
I don't know that many people who can.
No matter.
You know what I'm saying? Pre-produced, they all good.
Nah, we ain't no pre-produced.
Live?
Live guests.
Oof.
Live guests. That's what the trappers want.
I'm with it.
It ain't about what I want. It's what they want. They want live people that's speaking.
Talking that talk.
Talking to it. That's what we doing. So we gonna start adding some guests once we get set up. So let me say something, bro. I am so proud of, I finally see the progress. You know what I'm saying? The stage. You know what I'm saying? About to start painting. sound ordered.
Hey.
You
We
know
almost
what I'm
blew
saying?
these speakers.
Screens. Once the screens go up, it's a done.
Yeah, it's a different animal out here.
My girl came through. She found with her good negotiating ass. She found a dope person
Word.
to come build out some stuff, but I had already knew the person. But she put a little sauce
I
on
mean,
it.
she walked me around. She said, "Yep, I'm gonna have him
Yeah,
do this."
see,
We
so we had.
gonna,
So let me say this right quick. So yesterday, so what, let me just before I get to the show, I just gotta say this. I like talking about certain things that men and women have to go through, and I think that men. So I put this post up the other day about Bill Cosby. Right, the post went crazy. Right, the post had like 17,000 likes, 18,000 likes. What it simply was, it was Bill Cosby coming out of the bathroom, and his wife said, "Claire, right, beautiful, you know, the Huxtables." So she says, "Cliff, I just want you to know, I give you permission to date if I die." So Cliff looks at her and said, "Permission."
Right.
And then he says, "But you dead." For me, that's the end of the conversation. You're dead.
Right. You gone.
But she says,
I'm gonna miss you.
she says, "Yes, I'm giving you permission." So Cliff says, that's interesting. So that's all men. You see this conversation not about to go, because we catch it quick. You see the conversation not about to go nowhere. So it's not about to go where you think it's going to go.
Right,
So
right.
you kind of like, yeah, all right, babe, for sure. So she says, "So would you date somebody else?" He said, "No." So in my mind, I'm like, hey, smart man.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
Smart man.
Right
So
answer.
then she doubles
Good
back.
answer.
She doubles down.
Uh-huh.
She says, "What if you meet a beautiful international beauty?" So Cliff says, "Not my type." I said, "Oh, he good."
Yeah. You try to put him in the
She
trick bag.
says, "Well, what if you meet he's into jazz. What if you meet a jazz singer?" He says, And then she says, "What if you meet a jazz singer?" He says, "Like Lena Horne."
He loves some Lena.
Watch. He said, "Like Lena Horne." She says, "Yes." And she can scat like Ella Fitzgerald. He said, "Oh, man." She said, "What would you do?" He said, "Not my type." I said, "He good." So then she says, so mind you, I had to realize, this is what women do. Right? So in reality, he posted in the conversation long ago, "Baby, listen, if you die, I'm gonna just come with you." That's the best way to answer that.
That is the best way. I'm going.
You die,
jumping in.
listen, I'm gonna live a life of misery. There's no way I can live without you.
Without
Right?
you.
I'm gonna die of heartbreak. All right? So you can end the conversation. But she goes further and says, "Well, what if you meet a woman like me?" He says, "But you dead." So he said, "But you dead, so I can't meet you." She said, "But she looks exactly like me." He says, "Exactly like you?" She says, "Exactly like me, but you dead."
Right. He had to go back and
He said,
confirm.
"You're not
Double
getting
down
up
on
out the grave." She said, "No." He said, "Well, I'll probably, because you dead, I'll probably take on a date. And she look exactly like you, so I'll take on a date. I take on a date, and I'll probably get to know her, and I'll probably bring her to see the kids." And so she says, "Would you take my pictures down?" I said, "What is this going?" So he said, "What?" So she turns over and says, "Go to sleep. You need to get some rest." So I said this to say, so my girl was in here the other day. And I said, "Babe, we gonna thug it out. I need you to, let's put out here, She said, "Okay, cool." So I walk her through the building, tell her what I want to do, because her brain works like that. That's her strength. Like I'm like, all right, so I walk her through the building. She said, "Okay, cool, that's good." We get in a truck, driving home. She says, "Babe, I love you so much." I said, "I love you too, babe." She said, "Thank you for making me the project manager." I said, "Wait, hold on." I said, "Wait, where'd that come from?"
And then she's like, "I already got my nameplate made up and everything."
She says, "Thank you for making me the project manager." I said, "Huh?"
Who said that?
Project manager of what? She says, of the building. I said, when I said that.
Not half the building.
Hey, you told me I can.
Not the 25,000 square feet
I said,
size.
when I said that though, maybe I didn't hear it right. Right? I said, so the project. I said, what happened?
She said, sign these papers.
Said, you told me that I can help you. I said, true.
Yeah.
She said, but you gonna be doing Trappin tools and the other stuff. So that means I'm gonna be the project manager. I said, I said, nah, I didn't say that. That ain't what I said. That's not what I said.
It sound good though.
I said that, but that ain't what I said. She said, oh, so now you taking it away from me.
Oh.
I said, whoa.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Wait, what?
Oh.
She said, you empowered me.
Now she about to tell you, go to bed.
She said, you empowered me to take it from me. I said, oh, this what Cliff was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I said, babe, I would
never take it from you.
I would never take it from you. She said, so I'm a project manager. I said, let's talk about it.
Hey,
and
that's fine.
I left the talk and kept driving.
Hey.
I turned to Christian rap up. That's what I did.
We'll talk about this later.
We'll talk about it later. Let's eat first.
Oh,
Let's get something
man.
on our stomach. Crazy conversation.
That's the women's power.
And I love her so much for that.
That's the women's power right
there.
there.
I realized as men, they catch us off guard.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be quick.
Mm-hmm. Gotta be a little bit more quicker than that.
Gotta be. If you're not quick, you're gonna sign up for something.
Yeah.
You can't take it.
Well, amen.
Anyway, man, let's get to the show, man. We got a great show tonight, man. Again, man, thank y'all for 3 million downloads. Thank y'all, man. Again, without y'all, there is no us. I tell y'all that each and every week. All right, Jose, let's get into it. Before we get to the show, man, y'all know what it is, man. We got to put our mantra up. Let's get our mantra up. Let's get our mantra going. Let's get to it, man. I am a certified Wall Street trapper. I'm confident in my ability to make great investments. The stock market is a machine that prints money, and I'm more than capable of operating this machine. Oh, yeah, I had a thought just now. All right. I don't want, nah.
Okay.
Not only would I free myself, but my family would eat for a lifetime based on the information I apply today. I'm a money maker and a wealth builder. Today, I break all the chains that anchor me to that poverty mindset. My ancestors will smile now because I've turned our last names into an asset. My family's purchasing power will increase indefinitely. Today, I make the declaration that no longer will I be a slave to money. No longer will a generation behind me inherit lack. No longer will I submit to selling my time for money. I am a first-generation millionaire. I am the architect of my family's legacy. I am a certified Wall Street trapper. And Wall Street looks like us now. Let's go, man. You know what I had thought of, and the reason why I say no is because I just thought about us on tour, man.
Wait, what?
I thought about us on tour.
Okay.
I just thought about when we first played the mantra.
Yeah.
We was in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
And we brung it out, and then everybody just...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had that joint.
Yeah, and I was just like... And I was about to say, man, we going on tour again. I had to catch myself. We not. We not going on tour.
You've been doing a lot of catching.
2025.
You've been doing...
We not doing nothing in 2025. Everything coming to this Freedom Center.
Everything coming to the Freedom Center. We be stocking market in the parking lot.
There you go, stock log in the parking lot. It's how I had to catch myself.
About to say we on tour. Hey, not to double down. Same thing happened with me and Ashley. She put the whiteboard up on me. She said, oh no, we're going over all the business structure and everything last week. Sat me down. Hey, this is what we doing. So when they using their powers.
Nah.
And I ain't mad at it.
I am. Fight. Fight. Scratch, man. Wag your tail.
No.
All right, man. We got a dope show, man. So, Jose, we've been having a really cool rally in the market, right? We're having a really cool rally in the market. I think we've been like on maybe almost a 2-week rally. And some people believe we are getting some relief. I believe that the market is pricing in some things. But tomorrow starts a heavy chain of events. There must be disruption in what's going on because we don't know more now than we knew April 2nd. That go Ash right there. Fight for what you want. That go my girl.
Come on, fight if you want. I ain't fighting. My hands went up.
And so tomorrow starts a chain of events. And that chain of events goes as follows. So today we had a JOLTS report, which was kind of mixed. We had a consumer confidence report. And that didn't really budge the market because I think the market has already priced in the idea that consumer sentiment is down, right? Consumer sentiment has been down. Again, today makes 100 days that Trump has been in office. President Trump has been in office for 100 days. And whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, he is the president of the United States, right? And so our goal as investors is not, I always say that it doesn't matter. Like for me, I got friends that's Republicans, I got friends that's Democrats. Like I don't really be caring about who people vote for, right? You got that, you gonna vote for whoever you feel. We all have different rights. We all have rights, but we all have different perspectives on how we think things should go. And you know we all got different things because two people how I govern my house and how you govern your house is two separate things. I might say, hey, bro, you can't wear your shoes once you cross my door. You might don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's as simple as that. But what I do think as investors, we got to be willing to put once we realize what is done, your power as an American citizen is voting, right? After the vote is done, and this is just truly my only perspective, is once the vote is done, then democracy has done what it was supposed to do, right? Once the vote is done, democracy has done what it's supposed to do. And whether we like the vote or don't like the vote, we got to keep living. That's how I feel. So as an investor, your next goal now is how do you navigate the market with whoever is in office? Because guess what? If you was a Republican, you didn't like Joe Biden being in office. If you was a Republican, you probably didn't like 8 years of Obama being in office. But guess what? You probably enjoyed George Bush being in office. You probably enjoyed the first Trump presidency. And you probably excited now for this Trump presidency. That's your prerogative. My thing is, how do we navigate the markets regardless of who is in office? That is our sole goal and objective here, is to help navigate so we can make money, right? We gotta navigate that, y'all. So that's kind of like our goal with the show, is to just help navigate the market. So let's get to it, man. Let's show where we at, man. Oh, before we get there, so we got some things that's going on this week. So tomorrow is the first GDP report. We got a little something on that. We got a GDP report. Now, what you need to know about that, if you don't know, tonight is a whiteboard moment, too. Yeah, I didn't forget to tell y'all, so let's roll that up. It's all right.
Ain't that joint upstairs?
Listen.
Did he say it was upstairs?
That's the thing about being live, baby. Thing about being live, baby.
I love it.
Thing about being live.
Yeah.
So GDP report comes out tomorrow, and what that GDP report will do is it will tell us, has the economy grown or has the economy contracted? Meaning, have we grown or have we shrunk? The thing that you don't want tomorrow is you don't want negative GDP. Because remember, 2 negative GDP reports means a recession. Not 1. So here's what you need to understand. Not 1. Need us to understand that. Not 1. Right? And here's how we got to distinguish what's going on in the news. Because a lot of times we miss the idea. One thing I don't like about the news is, like, the news can push fearful narratives. Right or wrong, it'll push fear. And it'll make people start shifting how you think and how you see what's going on. And you start approaching it from a fearful perspective instead of a aggressive or a factual perspective. Does that make sense, Jose? Right? And so what I want to do is, so we have that tomorrow, GDP. Now, I truly believe that negative GDP definitely will make the market sell-off. But we do also have a situation where the market can be anticipating negative GDP because of everything that's going on, and it don't sell off. The thing about that is we don't know which one of those will happen until it happens. Bright side of that is it happens 8:30 in the morning. Bright side is it happens 8:30 in the morning. Right? So at 8:30 in the morning, you will get that report. What's going to happen? Second thing is, now you get into big tech. Tomorrow you got Microsoft reporting after the bell. Then the next day, you got, let me look at my phone to get it correct so I can show y'all exact. This is going to be important because this is a pivotal week for the market. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not playing earnings, y'all. I'm not gonna play that earnings like that and try to catch because I don't want to get caught up in that. All right. So tomorrow we have Microsoft, Meta, Robinhood, and Qualcomm. Now, mind you, here's the hurtful part about that. You already had SMCI report today, and they dragging the market right now. They dragging NVIDIA, they dragging Intel. Not only did they miss really, really bad, they had like some screwed up earnings that went with what they had going on, right? And there's something about that company, SMCI, bro, I just never got into that company. I've always stayed away from it. You know what I'm saying? Super micro. So you got that. So they dragging the market right now. So then you got tomorrow, 8:30, you got GDP. Then, oh my God, for my Patreon people, also tomorrow, we got Sprouts. Y'all know we in that play. We in that play. So you got Microsoft, Meta, Robinhood, Qualcomm report tomorrow. Any one of those don't go right, drags the market. But as a Patreon, y'all know we in a Sprouts option play, and that one finally took off. Then you come back Thursday, you got Eli Lilly, you got McDonald's, you got MasterCard. Now, that's huge because Eli Lilly can drag the S&P down, so can McDonald's. But then after the bell tomorrow, you got Amazon and you got Apple. So that's huge. That's huge. And then you finish off Friday with ExxonMobil and Chevron. Then you go into Saturday with Berkshire Hathaway over the weekend, and then you double right back Monday and fall into Peloton. So you got a heavy week between Thursday, between Wednesday and Monday, you got a heavy week, y'all. You got a heavy week. So that is definitely a rough patch. And you got PCE. That's a fact. So you got a heavy week of data and market movers that report. So, on top of the fact that we don't have no deals. Now, we did get a government that came out today that said they have 17 deals on the table. They said they have 2 deals, but they won't mention the names. They have 2 deals on the table in trade, but they will not mention the name. That's going important because we now need a deal from somebody going into earnings. I mean, Palantir. I said Peloton? I meant to say Palantir. Thank you. I thought I said Palantir. Cap? What's Cap? Sheed 7-1. What's Cap? So that's what we got. So that's going to be real interesting for us to see. That's going to be real interesting for us to see what they got going on. And yeah. Somebody said they on the 5th. Monday is the 5th, huh? Monday is the 5th. Monday is the 5th. Tomorrow is the 30th. Thursday is the 1st. Friday is the 2nd. Saturday is the 3rd. Sunday is the 4th. Monday is the 5th.
And Mike was talking about cap about them deals.
Oh, about them deals? Yeah. So I was listening at something today where they were saying, like, I was listening at the CNBC and I posted this in a group, and they said there's some confusing talks between China and America. And I said, it's not confusing. They not talking. There's no confusion here. Y'all creating the confusion. Y'all know damn well he not talking to them people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see how they keep switching the rhetoric up. Then people say, hey, we not talking to them. Not from a perspective of they not talking, they just saying like, yo, they saying, China is saying America needs to make the deal to us. They the one started it. America saying China need to make the deal. So in America saying, yo, we talking to them, and China say, hey, we ain't talked to nobody. We ain't had no talks. And now America saying, whether it's Scott Besson or the other guy, they saying, hey, Donald Trump do the talking. So that lets you know right there, nobody not talking. So it's not confusion. Ain't no talking. Stop trying to confuse us. We know it ain't no talking. You feel me?
That's the confusion.
But here's the dope part about that. I'll say this before we get into what we got to say. What has happened, from my perspective, when this market first started rallying slightly, it was because of the bond market. As much as Trump said, like, yo, he not paying attention to the market, he probably not paying attention to the stock market like talking about it, because he knew it's going to be a little pain. But he has to pay attention to the bond market. And so, remember we talked about this a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Trump put, which is now, instead of just saying, like, stuff that's sending the market down like they don't care, it's enough said to make the market still being hopeful that a deal gonna get done. You know what I'm saying? And that is what keeps the market, because remember, the market is a forward-looking mechanism. So if I don't just say, hey, we not talking to them, hey, we having talks, it's enough to make the market hopeful, right? And that's what the market is feeding on. Now, what I would tell us is, we not supposed to buy so much into the news, we gotta buy into the data that we see. That makes sense. All right, let's get into it, man. What we got, man? Let's get into it, man. All right, so here we go. All right, so we had NVIDIA. We said it's a meme stock at this point. It's a meme stock. 100%. Stock got great earnings, great revenue, great CEO, biggest chip company, but it can't move. It's a meme stock. Anytime anything negative happens, it just goes down the drain. Anything something positive happens, it moves 50 cents. It's a meme stock at this point. Right? They got it in a chokehold. They pigeonholing it. Right? So we got NVIDIA, Apple 0.5%, Microsoft 0.75%, Visa. My Visa people at, man. Come on. Visa gave us 1% today. JP Morgan gave us 1%. Wells Fargo, what gave us something big today? ANET gave us 3% today. Tesla, I say, listen, I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on here. I just don't understand. This is the first Mag 7 stock to now cross the 200-day moving average. With bad missed earnings, with bad missed revenue, declining car sales, declining deliveries, betting a house on autonomous driving. 2 years away. Stock was at 220. Stock was at 220. Earnings day, 220. Stock about to hit 300 in a week time span. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm lost. Meanwhile, Visa just blew earnings out the water. I think it's up $2. Visa just blew earnings out the water. It's up $2. Go a little further, man. So we got Tesla. So T-Mobile has been running. Verizon has been running. GE, Waste Management gave us a little. Walmart gave us a little bit today. Costco, my people. Yeah, man. Eli Lilly, Merck, Pfizer. So that's what we got going. Let's go a little further. Put call ratio. So we had 7.9 million puts. We had 4.2 million calls, and we had 3.7 million puts a day. Not bad. Let's go a little further. You know the one we won't see. You know what we want to see. Stop playing. We want to see that fear and greed index, y'all. Now listen, we're not going to get too hopeful. I'm not going to talk crazy. We're not going to get too hopeful. Fear and greed index is at 38. We haven't seen 38 since February. Six weeks in a row now, the VIX has been in the 20s. We haven't seen a teen on the VIX since January. February. Right? So got the S&P up today, NASDAQ up today, Dow Jones is up today, and the fear and greed index right now is at 38. My question is, my guy, do we see a fear and greed index that spikes tomorrow or declines tomorrow? And do we see a VIX above 25 tomorrow? Do we see a VIX above 25 tomorrow? We've normalized being 25. We've normalized being at 25. That's not a normalization. We've normalized 25. The average VIX is between 14 and 17. Yes. Do we get a VIX above 25, meaning that's increased volatility? If it goes more than 25, that means there's increased scarcity in the market tomorrow, more pressure. Or do we get a VIX that drops down a little bit below it? Now, of course, it's going to be dependent on GDP. And if you don't know what GDP is, that is, are we buying more than selling? Meaning, is the economy growing or is the economy shrinking? That means it's going to be hard for us to grow right now because people losing jobs. We not getting imports in right now because we're going to talk about that tonight too. So I don't know how we grow as an economy. It's do we shrink enough to be negative?
Right now it said 39% voted declines.
Decline.
They fighting though. The declines and VIX above 25.
All right, let's go a little further. All right, so let's get into, before we do this, let's get into let's go recession portfolio. Let's show the people the money. People got to see the money. You know the people want to see the money each and every week. All right, let's get into it. Recession portfolio. Let's talk about it. All right, so here's our plays we've been in. We got to cover. So I did something new with our plays too. I covered up the strike and I covered up the date, but I let them see the top of the play. I think that's cool. All right. On the ones that we just did. So our Apple play turned green. We up 2,700 on that one. Not bad at that. AutoZone, such a dope rally for us today. Such a dope rally for us today with AutoZone, right? So I'm going to tell you something about AutoZone. AutoZone, I realized this about AutoZone. AutoZone is a play. If I get to 12 to 15,000, I got to cash out because here's what it's going to do. It's going to go right back down to 3,500. And the thing about it, it moves in 50s and 100s. That's how it moves. It'll be down, like AutoZone the other day was down $100 in the aftermarket, and then the market opened up, it was up 0.5%. You know what I'm saying? So AutoZone, we up 12 grand. Costco, it's been doing me the same thing. They both been moving the same way. So I'm gonna start taking but GDP is tomorrow, so I might not get the opportunity. GDP is tomorrow at 8:30, so I might not get the opportunity. CrowdStrike, this is what we love. So, okay, shout out to the page. CrowdStrike is what we love. CrowdStrike is giving us 31. Listen, CrowdStrike, you love what you're doing, right? We love what you're doing at CrowdStrike. Now, the Eli Lilly play was the first play the second play that I started using TA on. So that's the only reason I didn't put it in the group. I said that last week, though. Somebody said, nah, Trap, give us all that. I'm like, no. When I get the confidence with it, I'll put you on. But I ain't gonna just, you know what I'm saying? So, but Eli Lilly definitely was a banger. Let's go a little further. All right? We got our Netflix play. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Netflix was the second one. Now listen, y'all know we've been rocking out with Netflix. We've been rinsing and repeating. I've held this one longer than I've held any of the previous ones. I think it's time to take profit off of it. It's up 34%. I think it's time to take my profit off of it and go about my business. And then watch it just do, bruh, I should have got
That's the one you got excited about today?
Huh?
That's the one, that ain't the one.
No, we got excited about Visa today.
The Visa jump, okay.
Yeah, all right. So next on the list is our meme stock, NVIDIA. All right, so meme stock. Here's what I learned though. I've been watching it on the chart a little bit, paying attention that there's a certain area that it hits and it always gives it up. I say, I got you this time. I got you this time. So we've been watching NVIDIA, so it's a meme stock. But I do like the fact that we rally. But tomorrow is going to give it all back because of what's going on right now. Huh? Because SMCI dragging it down. Yeah, SMCI done dragged it down $2 after the bell already. It's at 106. It popped to 109. It's at 106 right now. So SMCI just pissed me off. All right, so the QQQ play, I can't give y'all the date and strike on it. That's what I'm going to start doing. I can't give you the date and strike on it because it's new to the Patreon group. But I will say this. We charted this one out Friday, showed y'all how we charted it out, executed it in real time, show y'all what we did. We got $3 grand on it, almost $4 grand. Really like that play right there. Sprouts Farmers Market. It is one we have been rocking with for a minute, y'all. Now, I will say this. I got to make a decision tomorrow. My decision tomorrow is do I hold Sprouts Farmers Market through earnings because we fought for about a month for this thing to go positive. We finally got it back positive. And it's been running the last couple of days. We up 10 grand on it. I'm not mad at it. So we got to make a decision tomorrow. Do we hold it through earnings or do we not? Spotify. Sweet. What I want to do today is I want to take y'all to a segment called Charting with Trap, and I want to show y'all how I mapped out the Spotify play, how it came out, you feel me? Show y'all this armed robbery I talked about. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Show y'all this armed robbery I talked about. I executed this play with precision. Now, I'm going to say this about this play. Put it back up there for me, family. I'm going to say this. Today, I was talking about something that I was telling Ashan about, and it was usually what I would do is once it dipped to a certain level, it would be an execution phase for me. But then I started playing with some different things and I started learning about something. And I'm gonna show y'all, and we got busy. Then we got Visa, which rocked out for us again. That was my first one that I started, you know what I'm saying? So that one rocked out. And then we got waste management. Somebody always just don't want to act right. You know what I'm saying? Waste management had mixed earnings yesterday, and it just didn't rock out for us. So I want to take y'all to this segment right quick called Charting with Trap. I'm going to get on a whiteboard, but the first thing I want to do is put it on a screen. I might don't got to get on a whiteboard. I can just put it on a screen because I didn't get the thing to the whiteboard. That's next time what I want to do is, Ashan, it keeps it in your brain. When we do the Charting with Trap, I want to switch the graphic to the whiteboard. The next time we do it, I want to bring it to the whiteboard. That way I can point it out instead of just being here, but we'll show them right here. All right, let's go to it. So I'll show y'all this right here, man. This is really how I executed the play. And then what I did was I got on Instagram Live this morning after I put the play in the group. So I still have to keep the integrity to the group. The integrity to the group is not giving up what the strike price was we got it for. And I think the group can agree with that. I think the group can appreciate me showing it, but not saying what strike price we got in at. All right, so I'll take you on this journey we call Charting with Trap. So this is the Spotify play. So one of the things I've started doing is, you know, we've been spending 3 hours a day just mastering technical. 3 hours a day. Just locking in. You know what I'm saying? A mixture of just, my girl told me the other day, she said, you still up there doing that? At 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And this has been, I'm the type of person, I have this nature where once I commit to something, there's no shifting me until I've, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm locked in. So I'll show y'all this situation, how we got here. The crazy part was I could not sleep last night because they had earnings this morning, and in my mind, literally my girl woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. She's like, why are you still up? I was like, I cannot go to sleep. I was waiting for the market to open because I had in my brain painted 4 scenarios on how I could attack this one play. So let me say this to everybody that's watching. You can literally get 4 or 5 companies. And if you master them, you don't need a lot. Because you can master it. It's kind of like having your, like, and I'm just using it's like, it's a spouse. This a dance. And what you start learning is you start understanding what your dancing partner gonna do next. That's how you think about this. You start anticipating what your dancing partner gonna go do next, right? And so if you learn that, you can play the game different ways. So here we go. Let me show y'all what we did. So this is a daily chart right here that we're looking at, right? So the first thing I do always is I figure out where we at. This green line is my 20. This blue line, or turquoise looking line. So Jose, can we probably gotta pick the camera up so they can see this part. Make sure they can, there we go. No. So don't put the whole screen on. Put it in a way, Jose, where they can see my hand, because there's certain things I'm gonna say that they're gonna specifically need to see. So they can screen, yeah. I wish we're gonna learn how to do, Jose? I got an idea right here. I'm glad it's live. So when we have moments like this, I'm gonna get it on the board next, but like have an end screen. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll do that. Yeah, this is our first time doing it, y'all. So I came up with this right before the show. So don't fault the squad, fault me. So one of the things we try to do out the gate is determine where the current, and I learned this, I shout my guy out, taught me this, my guy McDuffie, you know what I'm saying, taught me this, you know what I'm saying? Learning market structure. This has been super important. He been drilling me on this. A lot of stuff I have an adaptive nature, but I told y'all, you work until you figure something out, and then once you figure out you reach your capacity, you bring somebody in. So market structure has really been important for me right now. And so what I do is I always start out with the month so we can so I look at it like this. You're looking at something from a month, you're looking at it top down, right? And then when you get to the week, you've now got a closer seat. When you get to the hour, you've got closer to the ring. Once you get into the 15-minute and the 5-minute, you really sitting on the front row watching that action take place. But every time frame has a purpose. Now, I'm just giving you from my perspective. There's some amazing technical analysis people, and so I'm just giving you my perspective because I got a way on looking at it. So I always start from the bigger perspective, the monthly, so I can see the bigger picture. Then we scale into the weekly. My sweet spot is looking at the daily and the 4 hour. That's kind of where we maneuver at. So just identifying this, I want y'all to understand what I saw, what we, just putting it in. So we understood a couple things was happening right here, right? We understood that this play was ranging between this zone right here, which is 613, and it was ranging between this zone, 487. Now, the dope part about this, you don't understand that. Matter of fact, Jose, go whole screen on them right quick so they can see it. Go whole screen so they can see it, so I can teach them, and you just pay attention to me as you see it, and we'll go from there, right? This is going to be good. Nobody else not doing this. Nobody else not doing this. Nobody else not doing this. That's what make us different. That's what make us different here on Trappin' Tuesdays, you heard me? So here's what I want y'all to look at. I want you to look at this price right here that say 487. Look at that price, pay attention to that price, right? And if for all my audio people, because I know Jose like our audio people, I want you to go to Trade and View, go to Trade View. When you go to Trade and View, you're gonna go to Spotify. Once you go to Spotify, you're gonna pull up the 1-day chart. You're gonna scrunch it in, right? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to put a horizontal line at the 487 mark. Right? And then I want you to put a dotted horizontal line at the 613 mark. That's the frame we're going to play in. That's the frame we're going to play in. And then I want you to go all the way back till February, which is going to be, you'll go back to February. I can't see the exact date. But here's what we're going to do. But, all right, so we realize, now you don't understand that this is the frame that is playing in, but here's something I want you to know. Before you go right, always look left. Because you can't go right without paying attention to what happened left. Remember that. Before we go right, we always look left, because left gonna tell us how to move right. Come on. You missed the bar. You missed the bar. You missed the bar. If you look left, it's gonna always tell you how to move right. Come on. We smoking already. We ain't even started the goddamn presentation. AB, I see you in the chat with the fire, baby. All right, so here's what we did here. Shout out to my people in the Patreon, bro, because I'm not gonna lie, like, y'all push me to be better. And I just want to say, I want to tell my Patreon people that, like, we made a whole bunch of money, and then once we got into that February situation, like, they pushed me to be better. They was like, hey, bruh, in so many words, nigga, you got to get better, because we won't keep making a whole bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my people in the Patreon, AB, M Legend, Bane, Nettie, all y'all made me get better. And I'm not so high on a horse, well, I feel like I can't keep getting better. So shout out to my people, man. So let's go, let's cook. All right, so before we go, we don't see all of this happening. So you don't see the whole thing happening. So we're going to go right here where this E is at the bottom of the screen. We're going to go where that E is at. So here's what we did. Boom, we realized out the gate we saw this frame, right? So we see this frame. First thing we see on the frame is we see this double bottom taking place. We see the double bottom taking place. Just out the gate, boom, it looked like a W. You say, oh, okay, I see this, right? You can't miss it. You're like, oh, okay, I see the double bottom taking place. Right? So here's what we understand about that. We know from there, we understand there's price points right there that the market is touching and is bouncing off. I want you to write this down. We like basketballs, not donuts. Basketball works us out. Donuts make us fat. We like basketballs, not donuts. Why? Donuts bounce. Basketballs bounce. Donuts fall flat. We don't want that's gonna fall flat. If it fall flat, we gotta do something different. Basketballs bounce, and if it bounce, it give us structure. If it give us structure, we know how to move. We don't wanna be confused. If we confused, we don't do nothing. If we got activity, we know how to move. Looking left gonna show us how to move right. Keep that in your brain. All right, so let's go a little further. So once we look at the double bottom, the first thing we could do from the bottom is say, hey, where is this thing touching that multiple times so that I can understand what's going on. I can understand this, right? Now, mind you, I started watching this play Friday night. So because I started watching it Friday night, all of this structure had, all this information is already readily available to me. Y'all with me? Let me know if y'all with me in the chat. All right, so watch this. So the first thing we did is say, okay, I looked at this, I'm zoning the whole screen. And I realized, now come to me, yep, good job, boy. So I realized we got two candles touching here, right? That gives me an idea of something. I say, hey, this is activity, right? This twins, they found comfort here. So I scroll back because we got a double bottom. We say, oh, and it touched here too, but it dropped down. Now I'm explaining this to y'all and y'all gonna say, my nigga. Watch this. So I draw back a little bit further and I say, oh, got it. This place right here in this area is where we got multiple touches on it. Hold me right there. Hold me right there. All I'm doing here is drawing a line. I'm drawing a horizontal line because it's telling me something. Here is where we get structure at. Here is where we can get structure at. So then we say, okay, now let me go at the top and see where I'm finding at. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to tell myself a story. If I can't tell myself a story, I can't read the information. If I tell myself a story, I get an idea what's going on. If you get an idea what's going on, you learn how to execute. Execution is always in the story. Tell yourself that. Execution is always in the story. All right? If you can't tell a story, don't play with it. Because if the story isn't available, that means the market is still writing it. And if the market is still writing a story, it's okay for you to keep reading. Oh my God, y'all tripping. Why the hell y'all taught me this shit? Why the hell y'all taught me this? Why y'all taught me this? All right, so watch this. So we go up top and we realize something. Here's what we realized. We realized that every time this joint hits 613, it sells off. Every time. Now, here's what I like to say. I don't like to go for pinpoint numbers. I like for ranges. Because ranges, you're going to see why pinpoint numbers get us set up for the kill. Watch this. If you think in one way, then the market is thinking one way. If you think in one way, a whole bunch of people like you are thinking one way. The only person who wins is the smartest person. If everybody thinking the same, everybody get killed the same way. Somebody got to think out the box because the person who thinking out the box is the person who's going to make the money. All right, let's go. So we realized that 613 here is good. So it touches it here, it touches it here, it almost comes here, but guess what? This wick right here touches it here. Well, Trap, they got candles going outside of that. We call that armed robbery. Watch what's about to happen to me, y'all. Watch what we gonna do here. Is we trapping or we trapping? We trapping? All right, good. So here we go. Here's what we learned. Here's what we learned at the bottom. So the first thing we do is we say, okay, we looking left because we don't get into this play and we don't start looking at this play until Friday. That means all of this information is available to me. So here's what we learned. Every time when it hit 487 here and here, we do what? We bounce. Okay, basketball. All right. Now, we rode a wave here. But this part here is real gangster right here. We call these, my people call it a shakeout, you heard me? Shaking out, all right? I call it a stick up. Somebody trying to figure out, in this shakeout, something gotta happen that's gonna cause a drastic move, up or down. All right, so watch this. This is not important to me right now. Here's where things get really good at, 613. Now, this is the beginning of this trend right here. But 613, the market do what? Comes down. Now, I'm okay with this. Why? We got another shakeout. Got another shakeout. We all right with it. But guess what? We shook out, and then what did we do again? We get into the 613 what? Not price, but the range. Remember, this might not be 613 because they actually pushed it up, but it's still in that range. Are we making sense? We trapping? But guess what? We get here, then what we get? Same thing it did here. Pop down. Y'all with me? We bounce back up here. What do? We pop down. But guess what happened here? We pop all the way down to what? 487. That line is interesting because the last time it hit 487, what did it do? Come on, y'all. We like basketballs, not donuts. Now watch this. Here, I'm about to tell y'all something that's real dope right here. This the part that really made me smile. Because I gotta always put it in trapping terms. Watch this. At this point, from here, it's gonna be good. From here to here, from this first bounce where it says earnings in February, all the way to the twins, the market has now created an identity. Watch what I'm about to say here. It has already built a story. And the story is 487 is support, 613 is resistance. Now watch this, y'all. Here's what we realize. The market is really, really smart. So once it did it this time, the first time at 613, once it did it the second time it pushed down, watch what they do. The market bounces back in that area. Now, here's what you know. They know that there's a bunch of people sitting at 613 that's ready to do what? Sell. They know it. They understand it. Why? Because people love, at the end of the day, this is just a numbers game. So the market says, hey, guess what, y'all? I got a sweet lick right quick. So he said, what's the lick? And they got a bunch of them over there at 613. It's the ski mask way right here. We about to jack them. Watch this. The market knows 613 here, 613 here. Every time it sells off, guess what it does? It pops to 613. Guess who right there? Everybody with they puts. But guess what the market does? It goes from 613, the sellers push it up. That's the market. Guess what they do? When I was in the streets, this is how you rob somebody. You don't rob them from a distance. You got to go touch them with a pistol so they know it's real. They jack them. So here's what they did. They pushed it up. So when they pushed it up, everybody who was waiting here at 613, guess what they did? They took your bread. They took your bread. Now, a few people stayed in it. They thugged it out, and they got what they wanted. They went from 613 all the way back down to 487. But watch this gangster stuff. I took your money at 613. Hear me. I took your money at 613, and once it popped up, you was like, damn, shit, let me get out this play right quick. So watch this. I don't got to take your money all at once, but if I can take it little by, if I can rob you little, watch this. See a duck. If it look like a duck, if it smell like a duck, and it quack like a duck, it got to be a duck. So I saw you at 613, I robbed you. Watch this. I come back down to 487. Guess what? There's a whole bunch of people at 487 waiting to do what? Buy. But guess what? It dropped down a little further. Not a lot, just enough to do what? Hey, give me that. You like, bro, you just got me up here. I'm not going to tell you twice. Give it to me. I'll tell you what, if you don't want, hey, listen, give me the money out your bra. Give me the money out the bottom of your shoe. Let me get that, partner. So they call it a liquidity grab. I call it armed robbery because it makes sense to me. So that's why I play ranges and not price points. That makes sense? So watch this. 487, what does it do? Bing. Goes back up. But guess what? It repeats itself. 613. What does it do? Rob you again. Because at 613, people waiting up there for puts. It's a whole bunch of people. Guess what it does? Go up a little bit more. Just a couple dollars enough to do what? Hey, let me get that out you. Tap that pistol inside your face. Let me get that out you. I robbed you here. I robbed you here. I robbed you here. Let me get that out you, partner. A little bit, I just need a little bit, because here's the thing. It's a mathematical game, so if I can get 1 million of y'all for a couple of dollars at a time, that's a bag. It's a bag. It ain't just one person right there. It's everybody that understood all of this. That says here and here is the structure. So if they push it up $5, $6, guess what they did? On robbery. Give it here. Give it here. Give it to me now. So, and then after it pushes that, then what does it do, y'all? Pushes down. Does a little fighting, but push down. Now, this way it really got good at. 487. Guess what? It don't pop back up. Now it dropped down from 487 to about 440, for about 471. That's a big bag. Because you ready to buy. But it done struck down another $6, $7 from 487 to about 470. You like, bro. So I done robbed you 4 times. I done robbed you once. I done robbed you twice. I done robbed you 3 times. This the 4th time I done robbed you. That's the market. So now it's shooting back up. Now, mind you, so this is Tuesday, this is Monday, this is Friday, because it's a 1-day chart. So this green chart right here by this bearish engulfing candle is where I saw it at Friday. So I had been studying it. So what I did was I found my 20-day, which is this yellow one. It was above it. And then I found my 50-day. It was above it. Then I got this Fibonacci tool, which is really good because it allows you to see levels and allows you to see where the market is going to retrace itself at, right? Where it's going to go at, such and such. So anytime, again, my guy told me this, and I got it again, this was dope. Anytime I can go from 0 to 38, that is considered a full structure. That means this can be identified as a movement, right? Think about these right here. This a shakeout. That ain't 0 to 38. Think about this right here. This a shakeout. So it's not a real structure. But from 0 to 38, if I can get that, I can consider that as a market structure. So mind you, I'm looking at it Friday. So here's what I do. I say, okay, I take my Fibonacci from the low, swing low, and mind you, I go here. This is from today, but this was Friday. I put it in the Patreon. I told them Friday or Saturday, we gonna watch Spotify. So we put it here. So when I put it there, it says, listen, if this stock can come down to this 38 zone, right, that's okay. If it could come to this 0.5, that means it has retraced 50% from that high. Anything between 5 and 6 is a golden zone. Anything under 6 is the perfect strike. Y'all with me? Y'all with me right here? All right. So here's what we did. If my Patreon people in the group, if I'm lying, say, Trap, you lying your ass off, you ain't tell us that. That's how serious I told him, like Saturday, I started putting the whole screenshot in there. Like, hey, look at this, y'all. Here's what I'm looking at, right? So what we did was I put it in. I said, hey, y'all, I'm cooking something. And I told him some things. So we got up Monday, which was yesterday. Watch this. Over the weekend, the stock closed Friday here, 613. It actually went up to 624. It went up to 624. So what does that tell me? That tells me if this data is correct, somewhere up in here, they're going to jack some people and then they're going to pull back down. If the data is correct. So what I need to know is at what point when it comes down, where do I strike at? Do I strike here? Because we know this is a structure. Do I strike at 32? Do I strike at 550? That means it retraced 50%. Do I strike in the middle, which is where I actually wanted at? I call it good, great, best. If it comes here, this is the best. Now, here's the dope part about it. I know it has potential to at least drop here because it showed me this. So my fib showed me it'll at least come in this range. So I set my price and I said, hey, now here's the thing. Monday, it popped up and then it closed Monday. It got as low as $5.95 Monday. That's why I couldn't sleep last night. Because I said, bruh, it only got to come down another $40. Now, that may sound like a lot if you thinking, damn, a stock gonna fall $40. But if you look right, if you look left, you know how to move right. Because the market done already did what? Told us a story. So just anticipation. Now here's the thing. Here's why I couldn't sleep. Because I said, if it don't drop down to this area, that means it's now writing another story. It's now writing another story. So essentially what I did was, it closed at 595, the bottom of this red candle, not the wick. It got as low as 597, but it closed at 595. 597, it got as low as 595. I put in the group yesterday, I said, hey, we gonna watch spot. After hours, it got up to $603. Market opened, it opened at 480, I wanna say. I should have been up there. Open today, opened at 558. I'm sorry, opened at 558 today. It got as low as 539 today. And here's it right here. And you can see it touched that 540 mark. So this means that this is where it opened here, right? It opened here, which is this number here, 558. But then the bears pushed it down to 540. We got in it at 548, 547. It closed today at 576. So today alone, we did a $30 range in this one play. We got in it at, I think today it got us, I was up as much as 20 grand. I think I closed the day at about 14 grand on it. And I just want to thank my Patreon people who locked in. They trusted the process. This is what we did. And I said moving forward, when I make plays in the Patreon, I will at least add some type of market utensil to show them how I got to play. That way I can show you, hey, this is what I saw. You know what I'm saying? This is what I charted. This is what I saw. And this is what I'm basing the move off. And what happens is in the play, it now is saying to them, okay, Trap, thank you for showing me what you see. And then you can make the move. So now it ain't just about me giving you, saying, hey, here's the play. It's here's what I saw. And now in the Patreon, you can see what I see. Now, if the play go another way, that's cool. But let me tell you the dope part about my perspective on this. Let me tell you the dope part about my perspective on this. This play hit here, if it bounces up, now, from my perspective, we at least have the ability to go back to what? 613. If we're just judging the book based on the story it is told, it should have the possibility to go back to at least 613 before it does anything. Now, here's my mindset and how I want to start playing the game. We can still play the long route. If it gets to 613, we can do one or two things. We can sell it at 613 or keep it at 613. And because we know it's supposed to bounce because we've been trading sideways, what we can do now is say, hey, Trap, at 613, I'm going to take some profit, but I can play a put at 613 because it has the ability to at least fall to 478. But if it doesn't fall to 478, then we reverse the fib because now the 38 gonna be here, the 38 gonna be here, the 50 gonna be here, and then the 6 gonna be here. We reverse the fib and we say, hey, it'll pull back to a certain level. We can play it there. So we can take profit on the top play using that 613 because that's the long play. Play a short coming down, stay in the long play, play a short coming down, capitalize on the short play going down, and then when it comes back up to our 613, we can actually make money 3 times. 613, we can take some profit, play the short angle all the way down. Wherever it closes at, we can take the profit there and let it go back up. If you want to get a little more, you can then say, okay, I'll get another play, but I don't want you to be in a play that many times. So that's just my mindset about how we about to start playing the game in the Patreon. So that's what I got for you.
Let's go. Hey, you was cooking. But, man, I need the beginner version of this joke. Yeah. Ooh, wee. You, wee. I was like, all right, man.
That's where we at right now.
But nah, the vote, 97%, they said, yeah, we need this.
Yeah.
98.
So just moving forward, man, I think we're gonna start just, if it's not always my plays, it can just be, charting with Trap. It can just be looking at the S&P 500, or looking at something to just give the people, or just an idea of what we see, what we looking at, as I just keep improving my skills. Again, from seeing it from different ways, you know what I'm saying? But also just explaining it from a way that I see it and how I talk about it. So I know they got some dope people in the group. They got some dope people even in this chat right here that's really good. They like, oh, Trap, this is my language right here. So now they probably super, you know what I'm saying?
They
so
gassed up.
we want to just start.
Wait.
Yeah, we want to just start bringing. And what this allows us to do, man, is just add more levels and more depth to the show, man.
Yeah, some people were just saying, I was just like, dog, we taking a journey. He taking a journey.
Yeah.
Ride with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, this something new. Ride with him.
Let's go. All right, man. Let's get into something, man. Oh, so let's finish we got to finish the recession portfolio. Let's finish the recession portfolio. No, let's finish the recession so we showed them everything on the recession for. Yep, so that go to Spotify play right there. We was up to date as much as 18,000. Until the last part of the day, we had a small sell-off. We got the Visa play, and then of course waste management. I feel good. I feel like that'll come around. You know what I'm saying? So you want to come join the Patreon, man? Come lock in with us, man. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely gonna be something we're gonna be adding to what we doing. So let's get it. All right, let's get to our Freedom Fund. Let's get to that. All right, let's get to the Freedom Fund, man. All right, so Freedom Fund is up 13%, Sean. Stop playing. Stop playing, huh? That's the record for 2025. Huh? Man, S&P down. Only thing positive this month is the NASDAQ. We up 13%. We added Netflix and we added Sprouts Farmers Market. I should have said that, damn. But again, AJG, Costco, Meta, Netflix, Nvidia, Palantir, and Sprouts Farmers Market. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The most we'll do is 3 more plays, man. It's too early in the year. We'll let those ride out. But as of right now, we up 13%, man. That ain't bad, right? That's a shake back there, Sean. That's a shake back and maneuver right there. All right, let's go a little further, man. Let's go to our, Certified Trapper of the Week, man, Maggie L. Walker. Man, the first African-American woman to charter a bank and the first African-American woman to serve as a president of a bank. No person is your friend who demands your silence or denies your right to grow. Let's go.
In the United States of America, circa 1900, a woman was not considered equal to a man. A woman could not even visit a voting booth and choose her government representative. And a black woman? Well, that was one more step down. She had to take a back seat to everybody. So imagine what it was like to be a fly on the wall in Richmond in 1925 and see Maggie Walker leading a meeting of the board of directors of the company she owned. Maggie Walker giving the orders to men. Maggie Walker building a business. Maggie Walker creating a legacy of success that would last 100 years and more. Maggie Walker took the stereotype of a black woman in the early 20th century and laid it to waste. Maggie Walker's accomplishments were not just worthy for women or African Americans, but her achievement set the standard for all Americans.
Industry, business, capitalism. These are universal truths about our American culture. That's how our modern economy was built. In the early 20th century, segregation created an entirely separate economy complete with successful African-American entrepreneurs. In Richmond, Virginia, young Maggie Walker was about to become a big part of that economy.
Slavery is over, and you have public education, mass education, so African Americans are able to get these jobs that require formal education, such as lawyers, doctors, teachers. They're able to get those roles. And once they get those roles, then the classes start to vary more. And then you have the emergence of this elite African American class.
Maggie Walker was one of the first women in the United States and the first African American woman to create a bank. Even more impressive is that the bank she started in the 20th century is still running strong in the 21st century. This Richmond woman was born into poverty, but valued education, her faith, and hard work above anything else. She used those qualities to gain her financial independence and elite status, which helped her open doors for others. The origin of Consolidated Bank and Trust Company was an African-American self-help organization called the Independent Order of St. Luke.
It was started by a woman named Mary Prout in 1867 in Baltimore. And it was started as a secret society providing those benefits. And then as the decades went on, the organization grew. It provided more streamlined insurance, membership grew, and things like that. And on until the 1890s, the membership declined, the funds were in the hole, basically. And then someone nominated Maggie Walker to be the leader, the right-worthy Grand Secretary of the organization, and she took that role in 1899.
Mrs. Walker met the obstacles of poverty and segregation with a deft creativity. When she took charge of St. Luke, the organization had only $32 in assets and more than $400 in debt. She worked with other St. Luke chapters to sell stock in the organization to raise money to buy a building. She founded the St. Luke Herald, which publicized the social struggles African Americans suffered under segregation. In 1903, she founded the St. Luke Penny Bank, leading the organization profitably and lifting her community. She also ensured the bank would last for generations by merging with another bank to become Consolidated Bank and Trust.
She urged African Americans to start their own businesses, and one of the ways in which she implemented that was starting that bank, the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank. And in that way, she was able to provide loans to African Americans so that they could acquire property and start their own businesses. And she saw through to the end that what she was preaching, this African American sustainability, was actually working.
These success stories put Maggie in demand as a public speaker. And every opportunity she had, she pushed African Americans to invest in their own community. And she demanded that women be given equal opportunities as men. Let woman choose her own vocation, just as man does his, she once said. Let her go into business. Let her make money. Let her become independent. Maggie Walker's ingenuity, innovative spirit, and a heart as kind and big as all of Virginia changed perspective.
She let nothing stop her. She made sure that she saw her dreams and her goals through to the end. And because of that, because she had such determination, we still see some of those dreams and goals that she had around today.
Not only could an African American woman run an enduring business, a business could be built with the well-being of its community at heart.
Come on, man. What we know, Jose?
Maggie was doing her thing.
Maggie was going crazy out here, man. Stop playing with her. You heard me? President, putting them in line, getting that bread, bank.
Bank. That was the one that got me. I was like,
bank.
I kind of lead back to what you were saying, I'm about to say this morning. In the beginning, it's like, yo, it doesn't give you what you want, what you work for.
Yeah, what you work for.
And when we look at it, all these certified trappers is like, yo, they worked.
No, they worked.
And like, they worked.
The game ain't give them nothing.
Yeah, they didn't create no excuses. They were executionists.
Not excusationists.
It's not excusationists. You know what I'm saying?
Don't shake your head, Sean. Come on, right? That's a bar.
Solutionists. That's what
Solutionists,
it was.
not an excuse.
They was definitely solutionists. I can't even say it right. All right,
man, let's go there first, man. Let's get to some of these details, man. All right, man. So here we go, man. 100 days of Trump. So Trump has now been in office 100 days. Bro, I was just listening to the MAGA speech, that dude said, I don't know whether to call him Sleepy Joe Biden or Crooked Joe Biden. I said, this dude got to be kidding. He said he has one power that I never had. He can go to sleep at a drop of a dime.
Bruh, he's still shooting the man. The man at home laying down, sleep too, probably. He's still shooting.
Hey, bro, he said Joe got one superpower I never thought I'd never have. He said he can go to sleep at a drop of a dime. I said, this guy got to be stopped. This is a rally, bro. What are you doing, bro?
Sinister.
He going crazy. All right, but let's go, man. So here's the thing. He's not the worst, right? So as of now, the market is down negative 7.9%. But think about it. Franklin D. Roosevelt was worse than him at 0.78. I mean, minus 10%, twice. Minus 9%, minus 10%. And President Ford had minus 11%, and President Nixon had 9%. So in the first 100 days, he's not the worst. He is 1, 2, 3, 4. He's fifth on the list. Not bad. All right, but watch this. Return-wise, first 100 days, best rate, so we had Roosevelt. Truman had 10%. Kennedy had 8%. Biden had 8%. Obama had 8%. Bush had 8%. Trump 2017 had 5% in his first 100 days. Reagan 85, 5%. Clinton 3.2%. Johnson 2.9%. Eisenhower and Reagan. And then you had Carter minus 4. Truman minus 4, Eisenhower 58, Bush, Trump, Nixon. So that's just how it looks. So he's been on both sides of the 100-day joint. You know what I'm saying? Let's go a little further. Big declines are followed by big profits. And we talked about this a while back, but peak to trough, so peak means high, trough means low. From peak to trough, 1 year decline, through trough, 2 years from the trough. So what it's basically saying is a big decline from November 48, 21%, and then you saw 40% a year later. In July 53 to May 54, you saw a 15% decline and bounced back 39% in 1 year, 98% in 2 years. If we go to most recent, February 20, we had a 34% decline at the bottom, and then in 1 year you had from that peak to that trough, meaning from that high to that low, you saw from a 75% to 99% return. Right? That's from the biggest high to the low in a 1 year and 2 year time frame. So, and the reason why I showed this was because I talked about something, and we talked about just being able to endure these pullbacks. Of course, every time has a different catalyst to it, right? Every situation has a different reason why it happened. What we got to be willing to do is say, hey, let me navigate through this. Now, my girl Nettie up in here, and I said something, and she went and found it for me, Jose, what I said in a group. Well, I said, it was the next day, I said, I don't think it. She DM'd it to me, so Nettie, thank you for that. She went fishing and found it in the group. Well, I said, I don't think we're going back to the 48 and the 14. Mm-hmm. She said, Trap, I went and found it for you. So she showed it to me. I'm going to get it so we can put it up. I forgot to get it. But I don't think we're going back to that. I think that was the biggest, you know what I'm saying? I think from now now I'm not saying never again, I'm just saying in this situation. Mm-hmm, you know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I clarify that. Right? I'm talking about in this round of events, I don't think we go back there. I think we navigate through that. I think the market has priced that in. I think the low was 4,800 on the S&P, 4,800. I think that was the low. And I think 14, let me see what it is. I don't think we go back to that, Jose. I don't think we go back to that. I think we stand on business, bro. I think we stand on business. So the low was, yep. I don't think we go back to 48 and 14. It was at 14.9. That was the low, and 48. I don't think we go. Right now we at 55 on the S&P, 5,560. The NASDAQ, we on 17,460. So we were at literally 48. That is crazy. Yep, there you go right there. So watch this. Listen, Liberation Day, which was April 2nd, we had a 14. That is insane, bro. The maximum drawdown was 14%, bro, in less than a month, bro. A 14% drawback, 14.5% drawdown in less than a month. Yeah. Yep, 4802. I don't think we go back to that. But here we go. As of now, we have nearly recaptured that back. We've captured half of that back in a 2-week time frame. We've kind of captured that back. We started recapturing it back when the bonds hit 10. When the 10-year note hit 4 or 5, we started capturing that back. So we kind of back on it. So current loss. So I think we'll be all right. I think if we can navigate tomorrow, I think tomorrow is a huge day. Tomorrow gonna set the tone. Let's go a little further. Recession or what? The majority of the U.S. CEOs now see a recession on the horizon. So in March, we had a mix. 7% was mixed. 9% said severe. 39% said slowdown. 23% said flat. 20% said mid-growth. 3% said strong growth. As of April, right now, 14% say severe, 48% says slowdown, 15% says max, 19% right now say we're going to have mild growth. What are they looking at? And you still have 4% of people say we're going to have strong growth. I just want to know what they smoking. Hope
full of wishful thinking.
To see strong growth, though, that got to be obscene. To see, that's absurd.
It's delusional, but
I don't see that possible. Who say that's possible?
No.
Who?
Why is it absurd, though?
It's absurd because, great question. Watch this. Let's go to the thing about they waiting for the work at the ports. That's going to bring me right into that. Great question. Right here. They're waiting on the work at the ports. So watch this. Shares of total containerized imports from China in 2024, Long Beach, so these are ports, Long Beach was 61%, San Francisco was 58%, Los Angeles was 51%. That's just in California, bro. Right? So watch what I'm about to do here. Tacoma, Washington, 47%. Oakland, 37%. Seattle, 36%. Bro, look at all of them ports in California. Long Beach, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Oakland. That's just in California. Now watch this. Go a little further. Tampa, 36%. Boston, 30%. Mobile, Alabama, 31%. Savannah, Georgia, 29%. Houston, Texas, 25%. New York, New Jersey, 23%. Charleston, South Carolina, 21%. Norfolk, and Newport News, Virginia, 18%. Baltimore, 18%. Miami, 16%. New York, 16%. New Orleans, probably at 10%. Let's go a little further, because I want to show something. Or, watch this. No, go back. That's good, because I want to read this. I had wrote this down. Here's why too, Sean. You saw that, right? You saw that. Watch this. Ocean container bookings from China to the U.S. are down 60%. As of right now. Go a little further. That's industry-wide.
Total, that just
Industry-wide. No, that's from China.
Oh, that's from China. Okay.
Yeah, that's from China. But that's in all industries. Watch this. 95% of our toys come from China. Watch this. We had this other note already where we said 97% of key ingredients in drugs come from China, and 87% of antibiotic key ingredients come from China. Penicillin, amoxicillin, those things, right? Watch this. We import $600 billion a year from China and off the containers, which then gets sold on the market for $2 trillion. So let's make this make more sense. Watch this. You already see people cutting jobs. UPS just cut 20,000 jobs today. 20,000 jobs out of here, right? Watch this. So now, here's what you got to start looking for. Companies now, if 60% of worldwide bookings from China are down, that means the containers that was coming from China here full, they not even coming here for no more. They not full. They 60% less. Think about that. So now a container that had 100% only got 40%. Why? Because the company's like, hey, we can't afford it. We can't afford the tariff on it. We can't afford it. So now, here's what happens. On the back end, here's what happens. Watch this. People order now for holidays. People order now for holiday season. So a lot of the stuff that's on container, watch this. If anybody worked in a department store or something like that, you know they start selling summer stuff. They start getting them things in now. And in the summer, they start getting winter stuff. So that be on the boat. So now those holiday stuff, those seasonal, they coming now so they can start stocking and putting them together now. Guess what? They still in China. So now what happens? Most people try to bulk order, like Apple. Apple had planes with $4 billion worth of iPhones on them. Think about it. People tried to bulk order to beat the tariffs. No, they did. They was bulk ordering to beat the tariffs so they can get a lot of stuff in. They like, hey, send it. Bro, Apple went got 2 airplanes and filled them with iPhones, bro. We reported it. They got 2 airplanes and filled them with iPhones. So here's what happens. Everybody can't do that. So now, here's why the slowdown happens. You a small, medium-sized business, you ain't going to get that from there. You can't. So now, that's why we came up with the word last week, embargo. Because now China's saying, hey, we not, and America saying, y'all not. So now, nobody is getting the work from China. Because companies saying we can't do it, then you got some companies saying, we're going to get it, but we're going to put the price on the consumer. Well, guess what? If you firing people, unemployment going up, people can't afford because now they focused on what? Basic living. So if people focus on basic living, they don't have disposable income. So if you don't have disposable income, watch this, GDP, gross domestic product, is import-export. If that slows down and people not spending money, you go into a shrinkage, what now causes what? Recession. So how can you have maximum growth if you're not getting the product? If you're not getting the product, you can't have maximum growth. And if the companies who getting all this stuff from China, remember, look what we said. Ocean container or OC bookings from China is down 60% across all industries. We import 600 billion. So here's the thing. That 600 billion turns into $2 trillion in money in the U.S. economy. You lose, if this keeps up, this is why Scott Bessent keeps saying this is unsustainable. If we lose $2 trillion of money moving around in the U.S., that also puts us in decline. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why you can't have strong growth.
I was hearing somebody saying, well, yeah, no, all they're going to do is build factories over here. First off, that's 3 to 5 years, and by the time that happens, AI going to take over the factories anyway.
That's optimistic. So then I wrote something else down for us that's going to be important. So here's something that China is doing. So right now, what China is doing to brace for it, I saw this and I said, oh, damn, that's dope. They playing the game raw. So I wrote this, damn, where is that? I hate when I have all this stuff in my phone, bro. Okay, so what China doing right now, China is, they're gonna better distribute wages to workers in fields of urgent need. They're gonna boost entrepreneurship and vocational skills. They're also gonna give subsidiary companies that hired recent graduates incentives. Also, they're gonna give loans and financial support to boost confidence of all their people. They're gonna reduce operating costs like rent, and they're gonna assist to sell other products domestically. Meaning, they're gonna say, hey, because we're a manufacturing country, we're gonna help you sell your stuff in over here. This is the government. Now, I'm not saying America's good or bad or none of that. I'm just saying here's how their country is bracing for what is going to happen. The government came out and said this. The government came out and said they're going to better distribute wages to workers in the urgent field needs. They're going to boost entrepreneurship and vocational skill training. They're going to give subsidiary companies incentives for hiring new graduates. They're also going to give loans and financial support to people to boost the confidence. They're going to reduce operational costs. Like if you got a business and you running that, hey, no rent until we get this taken care of. And then they're going to assist the people who the manufacturers to sell. And this is the Chinese government. This is what they're going to do to try to help boost. So what they doing too is, so this is why Trump keeps saying, hey, cut rates. I'm not saying he right or wrong, but here's what the Chinese government is doing to help their economy deal with this.
And that's giving them people hope too. Lots of hope. It's going to be a story for the books.
There's going to be one for the books for sure. There's going to be one for the books for sure. So anyway, let's go a little further, man. How you feel about that, Jose?
I feel like now they playing chess. Like, it's a back and forth. I'm seeing it. It's like, oh, we watching the game. Like, ooh, that was a good move. Ooh, that was a good move. Okay, that might be the one right there. And I know I've been reading, there's a couple of people going through a lot of hardships out here in these streets, and this just like the beginning.
But they're going through hardships too, because you got to think so that's why the government, so that's called government aid. So what they government is saying, hey, this is about to be a hardship on us as a country, and because we're a manufacturing country, if we got these embargoes going on, then factories get shut down. So we got to find a way to stimulate our own economy. So this is them stimulating the economy. The problem with America is we can't stimulate our economy because we still trying to get the other $6 trillion out of the economy that we put in for the pandemic. It's hard to stimulate because we've been catching hell trying to get them $6 trillion out of the economy.
Can't stimulate something that's overstimulated.
It's already. All right, let's go. The dollar is losing power. The U.S. dollar is headed for its steepest 2-month decline in over 20 years, driven by rising euro strength. The euro dollar is getting stronger and fading confidence in the U.S. policy. Germany plans to boost public spending, lifted the euro, while fears of trade and war following President Trump's tariff announcement push investors towards safe haven currencies like the yen, the Swiss franc, and the euro. Despite a brief rebound on reports of possible tariff relief, the dollar index remains down 7.7% for March and April. Analysts point to the ongoing foreign investors' reluctance to buy the U.S. assets as a key indicator. Also, I got a tool. Over the last 2 months, $14 billion have left in U.S. treasuries, meaning Japan, yep, there you go right there. Foreign money leaving the U.S. Will they come back or do they leave? U.S. equities, 20% of total, 18.5 trillion, so 20% of that has left. 30% of total treasuries has left, and U.S. credit has left the American economy. The question is, will it come back? Also, $14 billion, $40 billion between last month and this month has left the U.S. Treasury market, meaning we got our money, we going about our business. So they're saying this thing now that the Sell America trade is in. So here's my question for you. So one of the things Trump came in and said was that so far he's generated $21 billion from tariffs, right? Which could possibly be true. I'm not saying that's wrong. But the thing about that is, if you bring in $21 billion in tariffs, does it really work? Because can you offset the debt with that? Or do you got to do like you did in 2018? You got to pay that. So in 2018, he brought in some money from tariffs, but it was a wash because he had to give the money to the farmers because they lost out on all the worldwide farming. So you couldn't use the money how you wanted to use it. Does that situation happen here? You generated $21 billion, but can you use that $21 billion to pay down debt when so much else is now happening to generate that $21? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it feel like paying Robert Peter to pay Paul, but you got two Pauls. It's crazy. I don't know. I normally take the optimistic stance.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a situation to be pessimistic. I'm just saying, like, what happens in this situation, right? They say they have generated $21 billion in a short amount of time. That's $21 billion that we wasn't getting. The thing about that is, what was the damage that was caused to get the $21 billion?
Yeah, I'm about to say, the repercussions and everything.
You feel me? Like, wiping out $11 trillion at the stock market, right? To get $21 billion, you wiped out $11 trillion in the stock market, but not only did you wipe $11 trillion, you've also now damaged the reputation of America because people are selling America. So was the $21 billion that you got worth? You know what I'm saying? Again, not right or wrong, just saying that's the facts.
The crazy part when you said the dollar losing for the steepest 2-month decline.
The steepest.
In 20 years.
The steepest. Now, the thing about that is a cheap dollar makes it easier to do. So it's the pros and cons. A cheap dollar makes it easier to do business in America because the dollar is cheap. So it can go two ways. That's what I'm saying. It's not being, you got to look at it from all angles. But my thing is it worth? Here's the question. Was the $21 billion that you made so far worth it? Now, the key to that going to be about, this is why it's important to understand, you got to put some deals on the table now. Now, they say they got 17 people that want to do deals. You got to get deals on the table now because the deals on the table now going to tell is this worth it? Make sense? Let's go a little further, man. Let's go a little further. All right? Trump's pen is still on fire. Trump to sign a bill to ban congressional stock trading if it ever hit his desk. The Pelosi Act is not out. They're saying, well, it's not out, but it's been presented. And the act is to stop Congress people from trading stocks. How you feel about that, Jose?
Because I ain't in Congress, I ain't mad at it. I bet if I was in Congress, I'd probably feel away.
Bro, these people are outperforming Warren Buffett.
Right. That's the reason why I'm like, man, get him out of here. They feel like some insider stuff.
And like the way they catching them selling it, like they selling it right before something happened. That's the crazy part. Like you buying something before something happened and you selling something before something happened. Martha, get your money out that stock.
Whispering. You know what I mean? Like I said, for me, get him out of here.
You think they should stop? Let's put it in the chat. Do we think that Congress should be able to trade stocks? Bernard, you think Congress should be able to trade stocks? Why not? Too much insider in. They got leverage. If they gonna have it, everybody should have it. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I kind of get it though. That's not. I know the game rigged, but goddamn, like y'all greedy. Like y'all having 100% returns. Like I can see you trying to make a couple dollars. Nancy Pelosi, how you gonna make $200-some million? Come on, Nancy. How you gonna make 8, 10, 12? You gonna get paid about $300,000 a year, Nancy. So I ain't gonna lie. Like I ain't mad at the game, but goddamn.
But if you had the opportunity and you was in Congress, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
an upstanding citizen.
I mean, they ain't break the rule, they bend it.
No, insider trading is
Insider
elite.
trading is, but they like, hey, this that gray area we in.
That's an interesting thing, that dog. Go a little further, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Trump signs executive order to introduce AI training for students starting as early as kindergarten. Some stuff I agree with. Nah, people was like, when I saw it, like, oh, he copying all China. Listen, either you gon' listen. Come on, huh? Because China do it. But my thing is, if it's good, it's good. Ain't nothing wrong with taking a good idea. You gotta prepare the future.
Because they definitely seem like they've been preparing for like the past.
You gotta prepare the future. Let's go a little further.
Coming.
Let's go a little further. Oh, let's do 1-800 Trapper Hotline. 1-800 Trapper Hotline, man.
First and foremost, salute to you, Trap, because without you, Wall Street would still look like them and not look like us. So my question for Trappin' Tuesdays is, should I increase my buy and hold plays, or should I increase my income generating plays? And if I should do both, what percentage in each? Thank you.
My man said, I'm getting in and out.
Dog looked pissed. At first he looked pissed, like, bro, this shit pissing me off.
Right.
But without you, Wall Street still look like them. I like how he doubled.
Yeah, he flipped that.
That was cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy. I think with that, the best thing in that situation is based on your risk tolerance, right? It's always good to have plays that generate bread, but I'm just, no matter how much money we make in options, I'm just gonna be the person that always says that I would rather everybody just go heavier with buy and hold, right? So I think if you're gonna switch it, I say go 70-30. I go 70 on options, 70 on buy and hold, 30 on options. Why? Because your buy and holds are always consistently working for you, right? And if you got 30% and income generating, what happens is once the income generates, so let's say you got that 30%, let's say that 30% is $2,000, right? Well, you take that 30%, that's $2,000, and you can get any kind of return on that. What you do is you put the $2,000 back and you just look at the gains on that and you say, well, I'm gonna take 60-40 from the gain. You take a percentage from the gain and put it till you're buying a whole. You take a percentage of the gain, you keep it there. Let's make it make more sense. So let's say you had $5,000. Right? Well, you're going to put $3,000 in your buy and hold. You're going to put $2,000 in your options account. Then from that $2,000, let's say you made, let's say you got 100 fold on it. So you turn $2,000 into $4,000. then what I would do is I would say, hey, of that 4,000, you know, 2,000 got to go right back. That's your re-up money. So that means you got what? 2,000 left. Of that 2,000, I'm going to split that. I'll say I'll take 800 of that, put it in my buy and hold, and take 1,200 of that and put it back in my options account. Now you use your income generating money to do what? Feed your buy and hold and your options. Always gonna go more buy and hold and not go options because the option plays your income generating bread. But I'm gonna always take more of that income generating bread, not the whole thing. Remember, what most people gonna try to do is say, let me take the 4,000 and split that. No, you gotta put the re-up money back. So that 2,000 gotta go back. So now you got the 2,000, which was profit. Of that, I'm going 1,800 gonna go to the options, and I'll put the 800 in the buy and hold because you still putting money in your buy and hold that you was initially doing. The 2,000 was only 30% of the actual 100%. So you every time you still putting your 70% in buy and hold, but you taking the 30% of the profit made from the money generated and putting that in the buy and hold, and you keeping 80% of the profit. God damn! Come on, man! Come on! Come on, bruh! Shit!
Clip that up, Jose.
We cooked right there. We gotta clip that.
Oh, yeah, that's what
We gotta clip
already on
that.
it.
We gotta clip that. Gotta clip that. Gotta clip that. Gotta clip that. But here's what I say on that. Remember, a portion of that gonna go to taxes. So now you're gonna take away what comes from taxes, but I used the whole numbers to give you an idea. But remember, because it's earned income, 30% of it go to taxes. Yep. Trade money is earned income. You pay 30% on that. Yep. Trading income. So all my traders, I want y'all to understand something. You get maximum $3,000 that you can set as a loss. The max you get is $3,000. So if you go get 100,000, 200,000, whatever you go get, if you don't got something to write that off with, you're going to pay 30% on them profits. So every time you make a trade, I want you to ask yourself this question. Hey, I made $500. Guess what? 30% of that, taxes. I made $1,000. Guess what? 30% of that, taxes. Every time. Because you trading. That's earned income. Trap, I made $10,000 on this play. Guess what? 30% of that, taxes. I'm just putting it in your head. Putting it in your head. Because you got to give your, that's why you got to switch at the end of the year. You got to start preparing for that. You got to go switch from H&R Block. You got to switch from TurboTax. You got to get you somebody that understand investing income. Somebody, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? So now you got to start doing things that you got to start saying, okay. So I told somebody this the other day, they was like, damn, I don't know if that was you, Sean, or somebody I was talking to. I said, listen, a group of people got with a private equity fund and bought the Boston Celtics for $6 billion. Private equity group bought Boston Celtics for $6 billion. The business itself was only worth $5 billion. And so you would think to yourself, Trap, why would they spend an extra $1 billion on a building? Well, the thing about it, too, is the Boston Celtics don't make a lot of money because the Boston Brewers actually own the stadium, and they have the rights to everything in there. But the Boston Celtics make money like on jerseys and stuff like that. But if they go into the playoffs, they make money. So essentially, it's a losing franchise. The people who bought it, they bought it for $1.7 billion, something like that. They sold it for, they got their bread out of it. They ain't tripping. Well, Trap, why would they do that? Well, if you think about that private equity group, most of those people are probably what? Multi-millionaires, which means the loss that they gonna get from owning the Boston Celtics, that business probably gonna report a loss every year. They okay with that. You know why? Because they making so much money over here, they get to take that whole loss, break that down in percentages, say, yep, this 100 million of it, this 200 million of it, this 50 million of it, that's my loss. They get to take that losing business added to their profitable business and said, Uncle Sam, hey, I lost $50 million this year. I'm good. It's part of the game. Once you start making money, you got to now start even buying losing businesses to offset your winning. Man, we is cooking like God. Come on.
When you hit the funny part, when you say, you know what they are, I was about to say, white people. You said millionaire.
I ain't mad at that, though.
You said Boston.
I ain't mad at that.
I was just thinking Boston sales.
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that.
You couldn't know that one.
But a private equity group bought it, and that's what they do. You got to start finding, the business loses money. It is not a good buy. It's a horrible buy. But you got to start buying businesses that lose when you're in certain categories because you need stuff to write off. Okay, boo, it's 15 of us in here. It costs, think about it, the thing, they paid $6 billion for it. That ain't no anybody. That lets you know right there that ain't no anybody. It was only worth, the franchise was only worth $5 billion, so they paid $1 billion more than what it was worth. Why? I get to write that lawsuit. So that's a group of people that need hella losses. So they like, hey, go get it. We need it. And that's called strategic planning. 100%. It will, but you got to go appreciate $1 billion. They just won a championship last year. So the people who sold it at the right time. When is the best time to sell something? After a winning season. When the best time to sell a stock? Not in a downturn, in an uptrend. The best time to sell it. The best time to cash out in an uptrend. That's why they say don't panic sell. If you're going to sell it while it's up. Don't sell it while it's down. Why? The best time to sell a business when it's having a maximum year. Because you get the most for it. The best time to sell a football team after they won a Super Bowl. Best time to sell a world after they won the championship last year. Best time to sell it. You get top dollar for it. Some good game right there, huh, dog? Got a whole lot. Let's go a little further.
Hey, what it do, Trap? Salute to all the trappers. Thank you, Jose, for taking my question. I was reviewing one of your courses, and in one of the sections, you were speaking on economic cycles and how during certain times, certain sectors or industries just boom because it's just how it flows per cycle. I was wondering if you could give a little insight as to which sectors or industries you see booming now, because I don't really see anything that's really like popping. Thank you.
So right now, so for the month of April, actually the crazy part is technology is the only positive sector. Let me say that again. I'm gonna rephrase that. For April, the NASDAQ is the only positive index. Let me rephrase that. The NASDAQ is the only positive index. But right now, we see energy is up right now. And we see consumer staples. The Coca-Colas is up right now. The Coca-Cola, they up right now. Technology is not up right now. Somebody say, oh, that's out the window with Trump. We ain't never seen one like him, boy. So that's kind of where we at right now. That's kind of so we in that. But we do see financials kind of like getting back in the game, which I like. This is one of my favorite sectors. And we see energy is kind of back in the game right now. So healthcare is actually doing pretty good right now. Speaking of healthcare, we had a we'll talk about it another time. So, yep, that's what I see, Malik. Shout out to my guy, Malik, man. Let's go, man.
Hey, what's going on, Trappin' the family? Appreciate Jose for taking my question. Excuse the scruff, man. I've been working, man. My name's Anthony. I'm originally from DC. I live in Colorado right now. Mechanical engineer, so most of the time I'm usually on the move. First and foremost, I want to thank you for all the confidence, opportunity you've been giving the community in the gyms and classes and everything. Got the Trappin course, jumping off the porch, options course, obviously in the triple beam now. And I've been appreciating everything that you've been doing, and hope you keep going, man. It was kind of a question about scheduling. For myself, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur. I got a business out in DC. So I was just curious about how do you schedule your day, how you go about it. For myself, I've been trying to stretch my 24 hours out as best as I can. From that, I try to put everything as best as possible in my schedule to review and look through, stocks. So just curious about your input on, how, somebody can navigate in those spaces. Secondly, it's kind of a what would Trap do? So for myself, I have about 4 stocks or businesses that I was able to buy earlier this year. NVIDIA, Netflix, Meta, and Amazon. I have about 8 to 10K in capital that I wanted to be able to hold on the side for right now. And honestly get into a good options play that I can rinse and repeat. I just want to kind of understand your thought process of how you would probably move. I was assuming to maybe get an ETF as well, but didn't want to over diversify my portfolio. So hopefully you can give me some type of insight on both of those questions. Again, thank you for taking my question, and hope to see y'all soon. Keep trapping.
For sure, man. First of all, bro, we don't care how you look on here, dog. You know what I'm saying? Get to it, black man. We ain't tripping. You hear me? Handle your business, black man. We all right. So first of all, man, my schedule, I try to get up in the morning. I kind of been, I ain't gonna lie, my lady at the crib, so I be kind of getting up an hour later. You know what I'm saying? Just relaxing. So I kind of be getting up at about 7:30. Usually I get up about 6:30. From there, we go straight to the gym. Come from the gym, we get our workout in for about an hour. From there, I come home, say my little prayer, get in my thing. I start studying. You know what I'm saying? I gotta prepare for my groups. I gotta prepare for the market. And then I try to do that till about 10:30. So I don't even post them. I post them on my groups and say good morning, but I don't get to them till probably like 11 o'clock because I try to just get an idea of what's going on in the market. From there, we navigate the market, check and see what's going on from there. And I ain't gonna lie, 11 o'clock, I'm here, bro. And then I'm just knocking tasks down. You know what I'm saying? I try to leave here a certain amount of time. From here, depending on how late we building out, I go home, I get me another workout in, do some reading, and then from about 9:30 to like 11, 12, I'm in the charts again. You know what I'm saying? That's where my lately thing. And then like reading, and then from there, get some sleep, rinse and repeat. Some things may happen in the midst of that, but that's kind of my routine, bro. Like I don't go out. Like this is my life right now. So I ain't going out. I ain't partying. We done turned down speaking engagements. I'm like, bro, I don't want to go nowhere. Jose just asked, what you doing for your birthday? I said, nigga, I don't know. I'm probably sleeping here somewhere, you hear me? We not doing nothing. As far as that, man, there's no cookie cutter answer when it comes to where you should start at. An ETF is a great way to start for sure, or a great stock. What I will say is, right now is the perfect time because you have so many stocks on sale. So many great technology companies on sale. So many great just staple companies on sale. Like, think about it. NVIDIA is the only Mag 7 stock that has crossed the 200-day moving average. That means Apple, Microsoft, everything now is on sale if you like technology. Unless you like something like Palantir, that's going through the roof. But, bro, there's so many great companies on sale right now. I don't think the market is at an all-time. So, honestly, I don't think you have to start with an ETF. I think you can find some great companies right now. You got 10 grand. My goal right now with 10 grand would be invest 3 grand. I go invest 3 grand right now, 4 grand max, sit on 6 and see what the market gonna do. You know what I'm saying? That would be my goal right now, bro, for sure. Great job. Great call, Jose. We got one more? Yep, let's get it.
Hey, Trap. This is Miss Polly from Savannah, Georgia. I have been following you for quite a while now. And matter of fact, I met you last year at Good Soil under TD Jakes. But my question is, I bought 200 shares of Palantir at $24 a share, and I really love that. But now that I want to buy more Palantir, and it's priced right now at like $114 a share, I just don't want to lose that average because I like looking at it because that $24 a share looks really good to me. How can I break this mentally to buy more shares? Make it make sense to me. I want to hold on to the low average cost, but yet I still want more shares. Can you help me out? Thanks.
Hey, if that ain't a warm hug, boy.
Oh, shout out to Miss Polly.
Shout out to Miss. Listen.
Look, she even hit me up afterwards. She said, hey, look, don't forget, though. She said, if you ever need a cake,
I'm about to say that.
Give me a call.
Listen. I was
said,
about
this is
to
what
say,
I do.
I was about to say, I can sense a good cake.
What type
right
of cake?
What's the lemon cake?
Lemon.
Pound
that
cake.
lemon pound, yup. With the little drizzle on that joint. You know what I'm saying? You cut it. Ooh. With the almond milk. Gotta have the almond milk. Can't have that cow milk.
She in Dallas?
Miss Polly, I don't know where you at. I'm sorry.
I'm being good soul. You bring that cake.
She said she was featured on the Food Network and the
Bring
Cookie
that
Channel.
cake. Bring that
She said,
cake.
I got that
Miss
heat.
Polly, bring that cake. So first of all, let's give Miss Polly a round of applause for having 200 shares of Palantir at $24.
I like how she said Palantir.
Come on.
There it is.
I don't know if we're gonna pop up. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna shit print. On another note, Miss Polly, we can't bring that cost down. We can't bring, it's at 24. You can't beat that with a bat. And you don't want it to go that far down to get back on it. So you got one or two options here. First of all, she did better than me. 200 shares at 24, I can see why she don't want to touch it. You heard what she said? I like looking at it.
Say, I like the way that thing look.
I like the way it look. I'm gonna tell you something. Ain't nothing like looking like I got it at 24. It's at 116. Stop playing with me. I know how to invest. I know how to invest. At 24, she was ahead of the curve. So I see why she don't want. She done beat her whole retirement right there. Bruh, 200 shares of Palantir at 24, she went crazy. Hey, don't stop counting her money. One thing she gonna tell you about to do.
That was George. Cousin George was counting her pockets.
Ain't nobody tell you to be putting her pocketbook out there like that. Ain't nobody tell you to be
pulling out her change purse.
Yeah.
You know you don't go on no black woman purse.
Out my thing, man. You feel?
That's our number one rule. You don't go on no black woman purse.
Out there. Cause man, he profit. Ain't nobody saying that.
He calculating.
Yeah, he don't want to calculate. Look. Yeah. So first of all, we're gonna applaud you for that. She in Savannah. Next time we got something at the Freedom Center, we need you out here. Bring a cake. I
don't know what L talking about right now.
No, man, flush Lashana, man.
Shout out to DC the collector talking about, do she have a boo?
Man, flush Lashana, man. So you cannot change that cost basis on that. You cannot change the cost basis on that. Because I know you won't get that. So you got a couple options on that I think would be beneficial to you. You can start another portfolio and not bring that cost basis down. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you plan on holding it for the long run, I think it's actually going to pull back. I was looking at it the other day. It got earnings Monday. I think it'll pull back underneath 115. But you'll be forced to, you can either start a new position somewhere or you buy it again. but don't sell it. Let it run. You can start your new position. I'm not mad at that, but you have to build out another portfolio. But I like it, man. I'm not even mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the two ways I would say. You start a new portfolio out, which you don't have to do. But I don't have a problem with you buying more shares of it. You know what I'm saying? Your profits ain't gonna go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You'll just increase it, but that's what happens over time. Like, when you hold stuff for a long period of time, think about this. I got NVIDIA now, based on the price now, $35, I think. $55 now. Based on the price now, $55. I bought it 2019, 2020. This before it ran up to $900. You know what I'm saying? So, but I bought it again when it pulled back early on. When it got to $83, I bought it again. There's nothing wrong with bringing them up. You know what I'm saying? And your profit ain't gonna go nowhere. You still gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel bad about that. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel bad about that. Great. That made my night.
Yeah, that was.
And look what she said at the end.
Icing on the cake.
Help me out, Trap.
Definitely icing on the
Ice
cake.
on the cake, man. Let's get to it, man. We got a couple more slots so we finish off for the night, man. Let's go. All right, so Novo Nordisk deal with HIMS are they really HIMS? So Novo Nordisk opens weight loss drug waiver to telehealth HIMS and stocks soared. This stock has been on a rampage, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, man. This stock, so, this is the competitor with Eli Lilly. And then they sold this part of it. Well, not sold it, but they, so HIMS does so much stuff. Right? They do so much stuff. Let me see what the stock is up right now on the year. I think it's up like 30%, bro.
HIMS giving you ED drugs that cause hair loss.
Stock is up 40%.
And hair growth. Huh? They do ED drugs that cause hair loss and hair growth.
They do it all.
They cause ED.
They do it all.
I see what
so
y'all
they did that, and so now what's going to happen is they're now going to sell the weight loss drug to HIMS, and because they're doing almost what Eli Lilly did. They did something similar. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, so this is why I like them and Eli Lilly. They really battling for that spot, dog. And I kind of like it. I haven't invested in HIMS. I know some people that's in it. They asked me about it. I kind of stayed away from it. Not mad at the people who did it. It's up 256% since its inception. It's up 180% in 1 year. Stock is up 43% year to date. $10, not bad. It surged $5 today. Let's go a little further. Warren Buffett, bro. So, the GOAT, with everything going on, the GOAT reports Saturday. Now, here's the dope part about it. We put the Coca-Cola up there, but guess what? Coca-Cola did today. Beat earnings, beat revenue, and said we are giving full guidance for 2025. Something that a lot of companies really just not doing, Jose. You had a couple of companies came out yesterday and day before yesterday and said, hey, we just not going to give no guidance. Meaning we not saying what's going to happen moving forward. We don't know what's going to happen moving forward. You also got some companies saying, hey, we're going to give you 2 sets of guidance. We're going to give you a set of guidance if this happened, and we're going to give you a set of guidance if this happened. This is unheard of. I've never heard of like this in my life. Companies literally giving out 2 sets of guidance, and the market is rewarding them for it. Old Warren Buffett, the OG, said, hey, listen, we love Coke. Coke is a American manufactured company. The only thing they do lose a little money on is the aluminum that they pay for the cans that come from out the country, but they can beat that. They can win on that. Bottling, they bottle here. Everything else they do here. Coca-Cola is definitely a staple brand, and they are actually winning during this time. The stock is up 15% year to date. On top of that, when we talk about the OG Warren Buffett, I've been trying to get into this Berkshire play for the last 2 weeks, and I just can't seem to find a way to get in here, bro, because it just does not give me what I want. I think I missed it around April the 4th, something like that. It was at 490. Probably could have got it around April 21st at 506, but just couldn't get in it, bro. But Berkshire up 17% year to date, $78. The OG report Saturday. I already know he's gonna tell us, well, now we got $400 billion of cash on the side. I just know it. He's gonna have more cash on the side. They're gonna win on everything. The only thing that's not gonna be winning is gonna be AIG. They report earnings this week. If AIG have a good earnings, they're gonna come out smoking Saturday. This might be the last Berkshire. Yeah. OG, man. And with that, we're gonna close out for the night, man. Before we close out, let me ask this question, Jose. Does Berkshire Hathaway beat earnings or do they beat or miss earnings this week? What do you think?
Oh, I'm saying beat.
Berkshire gonna beat, man. Berkshire gonna beat, man. Anyway, man, hope y'all enjoyed the show, man. Such a great show, man. Y'all know we give y'all almost 3 hours each and every week, man. We want y'all to know, man, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Without y'all, there is no show. And without no show, there is no Wall Street Trapper, man. Our goal is to just help y'all each and every week get better, learn how to navigate this game, learn how to take full dominance of this game. Because remember, the market doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you work for. Let's put in the work, y'all. Let's put in the work. All right, man, listen, man, make sure you like, subscribe, share this out, y'all. Our next goal is to get this channel to 200,000. Also, the other page, the Wall Street Trappin page, we about 10,000, 12,000 away from having 500,000 subscribers, y'all. Let's get that up to 500,000. And y'all know we going after that. A milli. We want to get to the million under 2 years, man, so let's do that. Next, man, make sure you get your merch. We got the Trapper apparel, man. Let's get it. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. It's your boy, the Wall Street Chap, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I am out.